And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Blue in the Bronx channel, live for the Boys in the Apple podcast, episode 124 once again, as we are closing at the end of March, also the end of NFL free agency, NFL draft coming up, a lot of things to talk about, especially MLB opening day and what goes around that. You know, we'll make some roster. We'll look at the Yankees roster. We're also going to look at the MLB projections, what we're going to predict in terms of which teams will be first and last. And that's pretty much that. The NFL also banned the hip drop tackle, but let's get Alex's thoughts on this, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously great to be back again for another Monday show. We got I think today marks a month from the draft, April 25th. Yeah, because April 25th, I believe, is the first day of the draft.
That makes sense.
That Thursday.
That makes sense, obviously. So I'll start it up. I'll throw an immaculate grid out there, but Alex obviously.
What do you want me to throw out the immaculate grid?
Oh, you can throw it out.
All right. What's up to Scott Young in the chat? What's going on, everybody? Hope you all having just as we're going through this, of course. We'll have a Yankee hype video out on Wednesday. Tomorrow night, a NFL mock draft. Thursday, we're calling the Yankees game. That's our first baseball stream of the season, right, Luca?
It is our first. We didn't do any spring training games. I don't think so.
Usually we would, but we was scheduling conflicts and all that stuff. So, all right. I have one for LA and New York.
Ronald Torreyes, Kevin Brown, Russell Martin. Let me see.
Luis Cruz is also another one.
I'm trying to think. I want to think of many options as possible. Luis Cruz, I think, is the leader of what we should do. Okay. Cruz. Who else? We'll go with Luis Cruz.
Luis Cruz, huh?
Yes.
What's up to Armand in the chat? Luis Cruz it is. 0.2%. Okay, that's good. So we got LA, St. Louis, we got LA Mets, we got Gold Glove and 100-run season. So trying to think. What's up to Daniel Berry Sports in the chat as well? Remember, guys, share out, do all the good stuff, retweet if you're on Twitter. What's up to Mike Moran in the chat? Mike Moran's a Mets fan, so he can actually help us out a little bit with this. And also Armin, too. You can't forget about the Godfather himself. So I'm trying to think. Mets, LA. I mean, Syndergaard is obvious.
Yeah. There's also... Go ahead.
What about Adrian Gonzalez?
That's right. He was a former Met and a
James
former
Loney.
James Loney. There's what's his name? Chris Capuano, the former lefty. I think
I like that as a first guess.
Okay.
It's like the top guess right now. But Armin's gonna double check. So we got also Gold Glove for the Yankees. We got a 100-run season. Should we go with Chris Capuano?
Yes.
All right, we'll go Chris Capuano. All right. 0.10%. So, Luca, you did very good on that one. All right. Okay. Next one being LA and Curtis Granderson would have been a good one. That's actually, I like that one. Curtis Granderson could be maybe one for a 100-run season or Gold Glove.
I don't know if he won a Gold Glove. Possibly that, too.
I mean, I don't know how successful he was with the Mets, so he could maybe fit in one of those two categories as well.
Yeah.
All right. LA and... St. Louis, LA and St. Louis. Let's see. That one's very hard because I'm like the teams is like, but we might have to rely on the chat for that one.
Let me think.
Juan Lagares for Gold Glove. I like that one. That's definitely a thought to be considered. I'm trying to think Gold Glove, Yankees. Trying to think like old Yankees because obviously like that's what's gonna hit. Did Elston Howard ever win a Gold Glove is my question.
You can also do
So we should do Elston Howard?
Oh, I was thinking also think of Willie Randolph. I know Greg Nettles probably won a few Gold Gloves. Jacob says Vernon Wells.
For gold. If Vernon Wells won a Gold Glove with the Yankees, that's...
He probably didn't win one with the Yankees, but he probably won one in his career.
He did win one in his career. It just wasn't with the Yankees, so unfortunately he doesn't count. But what's up to Jacob in the chat? There was one of Bobby Thompson.
How about this one for Dodgers and Cardinals? Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn could work.
What's up to Anthony Garcia?
Yeah, what's up, Ant? But there was a Bobby Thompson that played for the Yankees, I think.
Bobby Thompson.
Did he like? I feel like it was a Bobby Thompson or Bobby something that he played for the Yankees.
Bobby Richardson?
Bobby Richardson, that's it.
Let me see if he was a Gold Glover. He was 61 to 65.
So do we do Elston Howard or Bobby Richardson?
I think Bobby Richardson.
Let's see. All right, 0.9%. Okay, so we're kind of rolling here. We're not with John, did
86% Matt Schaub.
86% Matt Schaub. That's still, but also apparently Joe Flacco never played for the Ravens, according to Luke.
I put that down in my notes as a clippable moment for year's end.
Let's see. Yeah, the big one for the chat, we need help on the LA St. Louis front. Gold Glove for the Mets. I'm trying to think. So we do have Juan Lagares. That's one. See, I'm trying to think of.
Keith Hernandez, I also think is an obvious.
Keith Hernandez is obvious.
Gary Carter as well.
Gary Carter. Gary Carter. I'm trying to think. Let
me see if Buddy Harrelson was one.
Let's see.
He won. Yeah, Buddy Harrelson.
Okay. I'm gonna look up this name.
What's up to Bill? Bill.
Oh, it's up to Bill in the building. Pedro Barbone. I think we should go with that one because that's gonna be really hard to figure out.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go Pedro Barbone here.
Or Rafael Furcal.
Wait. Why is Pedro Barbone? Oh, Pedro Bourbon. I must have read it wrong. Okay. 0.03%. Okay, so we have our money made there.
As I said, Mets Gold Glove, Buddy Harrelson.
All right, let's. Hopefully, you don't.
Or Bud Harrelson.
4%. All right. Did Lance Berkman probably didn't win a Gold Glove with the Cardinals, right? Probably not.
No, probably not. Let me try to think. Ozzie Smith is an obvious. I'm gonna see if this guy ever played with the
Kevin
Cardinals.
Mitchell.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. He did not play with the Cardinals. He played with the Mets, but not the Cardinals.
Did he ever get 100 runs?
I'm sure he did. And we're talking about Mets, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Mitchell
had like 100. Probably not with the Mets.
Yeah, he didn't hit his prime until he went to the Giants and won an MVP.
Makes a lot of sense. Tyler O'Neill. That's an interesting one. I like that.
As in terms of Gold Glove or 100 plus runs?
I don't know which one. Wasn't he on the Red Sox the last time I checked?
Yeah, he got traded or he signed.
Soriano was one. I like that. John Olerud is another. Let's see. I want to figure out. Again, with Yankees, because we're Yankee fans, we know the history. We want to get really rare. So, you have the DiMaggio, you probably have Berra. And those are like spit obvious names.
You know what? Yankees or Mets? I think this can work. Robin Ventura.
Okay.
Let me double check. Ventura actually hit 100 RBIs with the it's 100 runs, not RBIs. Excuse me. He never did that. Damn.
I'm going to think of like a classic 1970s slam. So Mickey Rivers, never over 100 runs. Chris Chambliss, probably never over 100 runs. Yeah, no, not with the Yankees. Chris Chambliss. Brian Doyle is my next one.
No.
Probably not.
No Lou Piniella. Or if you want to go like into the 80s, you could.
Doyle had a short career. I didn't even realize that. Maybe Brian Doyle. I'm trying to think like all around the bases. Greg Nettles. Did we mention that one?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Does he qualify? He does not. What the fuck?
Let's see if Don Baylor did it with the Yankees.
Yeah, that's another one to mention. What was your Mets guess or one of the popular Mets guesses?
Well, I think Mike said John Olerud
John Olerud.
for 100 runs.
Bobby Mercer. I like that one.
Double check, but I can't
Not
say.
a lot of people think of Bobby Mercer. And also, the Yankees were really bad in the 80s. That's why they're not memorable.
Yep, Bobby Mercer.
I think we should go with Bobby Mercer.
Yep.
All right. So we got 3 more. 0.3%. Okay. 100 runs for the Mets. Should we do John Olerud?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do John Olerud. Yeah. 1%. I'm surprised they only got 1%, but okay. Gold Glove for the Cards. 100-run season for the Cards. I highly doubt Carlos Beltran had a 100-run season.
Yeah, he played only like one or half a season with them, maybe one or maybe two. But Jacob asked, are we going to continue doing Mets streams like last year? We're actually going to be streaming Saturday's game, the Brewers and the Mets. Me and Angry John will be on the call.
Fuck, he didn't have. I'm trying to think. Cardinals with over 100 runs.
No Pujols. No, I mean, if you want Matt Holliday, maybe, but I think that's a little too obvious because of recency.
Yeah, it's a recency bias thing.
Let me see if hold on. I don't know if he played with the Cardinals and won a Gold Glove.
Who?
Mike Matheny.
I believe he did.
Mike Matheny won a Gold Glove with them.
All right, let's do Mike Matheny then. Oh, wait, not 100. He was also a garbage manager, but that's its own subject. All right, 100-run season for St. Louis. Jim Edmonds, obvious. Yadier Molina, obvious.
Let me see Reggie Sanders.
Reggie Sanders, Harrison Bader, Roger Hornsby goes in that
Sanders
category.
Never did it.
Okay, one more guess. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm really using my MLB Baseball 2005 knowledge. This is like Yachty. I'm trying to think who else was on that team. Like, but
it was Matt Holliday was in Colorado at that time. So it's Pujols, Yadier Molina, David Eckstein. I don't think Eckstein did it.
No, he didn't.
I don't remember who their shortstop was.
Now we defer to the chat.
I mean, we're missing an obvious one. Scott Rowland.
Yeah. Kurt Flood. Okay. So do we go with Kurt Flood?
Let me see.
I mean, he did it.
Kurt Flood, then.
All right, Kurt Flood it is. So, 8 rarity score. That's our best score in a while.
Honestly, it's better than guessing 86%.
All right. Here we are now. We got the NFL one, and then we'll probably move into the next one. Okay. This one's obvious. Ndamukong Suh. We're not going to do that one.
Yes.
This one's like, it takes a little bit to think.
Right.
10,000.
Did Drew Stanton play for the Lions?
I want to say he started his career with them.
Because I was thinking Cardinals, Lions, Drew Stanton.
Yeah, I want to say he started his career with them. Like, it was around I want to say it was around the Stafford era. It was.
Yes, somewhere.
They spent a second-round pick on him, Drew Stanton. Drew Stanton. Okay, 5%.
Not bad.
Saints, Bucks. Simeon never played for the Bucks. No, he never. Yeah, he never played for the Bucks. If it was Broncos, that would have worked. But awesome. Let's see what the chat's saying. Zach Allen is a good one.
That's true. He did play with the Saints and the Cardinals, or he might be on the Saints right now, actually.
Well, he was referencing Denver and Arizona.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't think Tahir Whitehead played with any of the other teams other than Detroit.
What about 10? How about we do 10,000 yards passing?
Okay, if you could think of it. Peyton's obviously on the list. John Elway.
Let me see if Jay Cutler ever did it.
I would imagine that he did.
Yes, 35,000 yards.
Jay Cutler did. And then Lions, you got Stafford. I would imagine Jared Goff's there, but you really don't want to choose him. Case Keenum.
I mean, if that's true, why not?
That could be something. Case Keenum. I'm saying that could be something. Case Keenum.
Yeah, just double check if.
Well, he's got over 10,000.
Yeah, Case Keenum.
Let's go with the Broncos. Case Keenum, as I used to call him. 2%. Okay. Saints is going to be tough. Well, actually, Jameis Winston, he probably has over that.
I would check that out, but yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean, he was a starter for several years. Yeah, he's got over that. Famous Jameis?
Famous Jameis.
All right. 5%. That's not terrible considering the circumstances. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater could have been there. I missed that one. Thanks, Mike. Scott Mitchell for the Detroit in 10K.
Okay.
Let's do Scott because I never think of like old timey quarterbacks. Can't type for shit. Okay. Now we get to player. Arizona and Denver. Again, Zach Allen could be a guess.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like there's two offensive tackles I'm thinking of. There's Jake Rogers, who played with the Broncos, but didn't play with any other teams. And there's also Jared Veldheer.
Okay. Didn't he play with the Cardinals?
Played with the Cardinals and played with the Broncos. So, Jared Veldheer. 0.9%. Okay. Your move, Luca. No, I'm kidding, but still.
Did Michael Floyd play with the Saints?
I don't know if he played with the Saints.
There's got to be some wide receiver that played for the Cardinals and Saints.
He played with the Saints practice squad.
Fuck. What about little Jordan Pumphrey?
I don't think he did.
Did Ted Ginn play with the Cardinals?
I know he was around. He did.
And the Saints?
Yep.
All right.
If we wanted to go obvious, we could have said Tyrann Mathieu.
That's true.
All right. Bucks category. See, where's Brian when we needed him, right? Bucks Saints, Bucks Broncos, and Bucks Lions. Trying to think of like defensive backs. Actually, I think I have one.
Okay.
I'm gonna pray he played with the Lions though, because he's a former Giant.
Who?
He did not. Shoot. Andrew Adams. That was my guess.
Did Keenan McCardell overplay with those teams? I know
Who?
he played with the Bucks. Keenan McCardell.
You said he played with the Bucks?
Yeah.
He played with the Bucks.
Yeah, but did he play any of those other teams?
Broncos, Jags, Lions. Broncos, Lions, and Saints. No. All right. What else? Jeff Fain is a guest from New Orleans to Tampa Bay.
Why not? Why not?
Why not at this point, right? 0.3%. Thank you, Armand. Two more. Broncos, Bucks. Trying to think like running backs or like lower tier wide receivers, or I don't think Adams played for the Broncos.
No.
Let's see who else. Fucking hell. Let's see. Hey, Alex, are the Smurfs drafting in QB or what? Daniel Jones sucks so well. Listen, look, I don't disagree that Daniel Jones isn't good. I hope they're drafting a quarterback. What's up, Vinny? I hope they're drafting a quarterback. Someone,
Armin
you know
has.
what's funny? Someone was actually referring to the Giants as Smurfs the other day. I cannot think of who it was,
I know Vinny does it a lot, and so does Dan.
but I was thinking like somebody was mentioning. Oh, I think it was the Someone was mentioning like the wide receiver core. They were mentioning how small the slot receivers are, and they're like, yeah, we're going to draft a bunch of Smurfs. I think it was Adam or Mac. One of those
Armin
guys.
says T.J. Wood for Denver Bucks. That's actually a really good one.
Yeah, TJ Ward, the safety. Wasn't he with the Eagles?
Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like it was. Okay, Tampa Bay and Detroit. We're not going to Ndamukong Suh.
But can we go Jeff Garcia, as Armin says?
We could go Jeff Garcia. Possibly. What else do we got? Jeff
Did
Garcia.
Nate Burleson ever play for the Bucks?
Nate Burleson?
Yeah.
Do some research on that right now. See what the rest of the chat says.
Bill says, "LOL, that's funny." Haven't seen anything. Yeah, yeah, they are the Smurfs. It's good nickname with Vinny. I'm sure he wasn't the first one to use it, but yeah, the Giants are definitely
Burleson does not qualify.
Damn it! I'm gonna keep thinking.
Anquan Bolden didn't play for the Bucks, right?
No. Armin's got more guesses. Almus Brown, James Wilder, and Rocky Freitas. I would go with one of those guesses because I have no clue who they are.
Let's do Rocky Freitas.
Got an immaculate score of 21. And Alex, let's see the guess. How much did Freitas get us?
Let's see. 0.10. So pretty good.
Good job to Armand.
Good job to Armand. All right. So baseball season is right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
Apologies if there was background noise there. Baseball season is right around the corner, and we're going to do some MLB predictions today. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Luke, I have predictions left over from last year.
Really?
I wrote down on a piece of paper in this little sack that I have. So I'm going to read them out. Now we're not going to do predictions now, but you guys are welcome to put your predictions in the chat. We want to talk about the Yankees a little bit first. So let me just see if, because I'm pretty sure I wrote it on the red permanent marker. Okay, so this was from 2020. This is 2023. So
can I just note something real quick that's non-baseball related?
Go ahead.
Dante DiVincenzo has won me some money. He officially hit the over. To all the people in the chat, I'm pointing at you and you, Alex, and you, Jacob, for saying, "Oh, I'm a degenerate, this, and that." I bet the over 18.5 points. Dante DiVincenzo, I think, has 21.
When he loses, we won't hear about it.
Oh, I always say when I lose,
Right.
I always come forth about it.
All right, so here's how I had everything go last year. You ready?
Yes.
So this is again written on a piece of paper. And this is when me, John, and Sox Arizona were doing our MLB prediction stream. So I had the Yankees in first place.
Yeah, they didn't go as well.
Bummer. Second place, I had the Blue Jays.
Bummer.
No, because they were third. I had the Rays in third.
They were second.
I had the Red Sox fourth. This might be from 2 years ago, but I mean, anyway. And I had the Orioles fifth. This may be from 2 years ago, but let's see. Because it was I think it was either last year or the year before. I didn't have the Yankees making the playoffs at all. But these are still interesting. Let's see, because I had Pete Alonso as a no. These are from last year because Carlos Rodon is on here. Okay. I had him as an all-star, so I kind of failed.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge. Was he an all-star last year? No, because of the toe injury, right?
I mean, he was, I think, technically, but he had a replacement.
And what's up to John in the chat? Otani also bet the over. Yes, he did, Mike. Yes, he did. Let's see. I had Garrett Cole. I'm pretty sure he was an all-star, right? Cy Young winner. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, which I think I was wrong on, and we already went over Rodon. We'll go back to the other stuff in a bit.
John says, was Matt Schaub not an answer tonight? Sup, guys? Hope all is
He
well.
actually wasn't an answer tonight.
No.
But, so here's who I picked for Cy Young, and I was wrong. AL Cy Young, Framber Valdez, and NL Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
I was out of the box. The home run derby winner.
Who won last year? Remind me.
I have no idea, but it's not my guess. Rafael Devers.
Well, I don't think he won.
MVP Shohei Ohtani.
Well,
that's like, that's like taking
I'm sure he bet on it too.
Yeah, he probably bet on it.
I'm sure he bet on. I'm sure he
home run leader. Who won? Who's the home run leader last year?
I'm sure he bet on himself.
Well, yeah, he said he would bet on himself. Or at least maybe that's a quote taken from somewhere.
No, I'm just trying to make a joke, but okay.
So, 2023 home run leaders. I was actually third. How about this one, right? I was wrong on my NL home run leader, but I got the prediction correct in terms of the number of home runs. Really? I said Pete Alonso would hit 46 home runs, and he did that. So, but I was wrong. And I also said Vlad Guerrero Jr. would hit 44. I was off by, I think, like 16. The top seeds, I had the Astros at number 1. I didn't even have the Rangers as a thought.
Yeah, nobody did. To be fair.
Yeah, and then I had the Yankees, the Guardians, the Blue Jays, the Mariners, and the Rays. I was almost correct, except I think the Yankees were replaced by the Orioles.
Yeah.
And then I had the Dodgers, the Mets, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Braves, and the Phillies. Again,
the Mets is division winner?
No, these are seeds.
Oh. Well,
and then I had Dodgers. I mean, Dodgers were number 1, I believe. Mets and Cardinals you take out of there and replace with whoever. As far as my this could have definitely been 22, so I'm just gonna push it off to the side right now. But we do have some Yankees talk to get to.
Yes.
Luca, what do you want to start with first?
Well, can we talk about who made the roster of recent?
Yeah, I got if you want to pull it up on your end, I can pull it up on my end too.
Yes.
So here's a list of the Yankees that made the roster as of 6:40
through spring training. Through spring
training. So, the position players, it is Jose Trevino, Austin Wells, and Ben Nordvet. So they're keeping 3 catchers. Then you move down to the infield, which is Cabrera, Rizzo, Torres, and Volpe. So the Yankees only have 4 infielders to this moment, which is interesting, but also not surprising. Outfielder, you have Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo, Jahmai Jones, and Giancarlo Stanton. Personally, I thought that Oscar Gonzalez should have made it over Jahmai Jones, but that's my opinion. In the pitching realm, you have Clayton Beeter, Nick Birdie, Nestor Cortez, Luis Hill, Caleb Ferguson, Victor Gonzalez, Ian Hamilton, Clay Holmes, Jonathan Loaizaga, Carlos Rodon, Clark Schmidt, Mark Stroman, and Luke Weaver. Again, nothing regarding Jones or Nordvet about a trade yet. Oscar Gonzalez, Kevin Smith, Greg Allen, Jose Rojas, and Dennis Santana were all reassigned to the minor leagues. No, you're not too late, Max. We didn't get to the Giants yet, but if you want to input your opinion, of course, we'll read over it. So those are the guys that made the Yankees roster. What are your thoughts on the initial 26?
Initial 26, not a ton of surprises. I mean, I'm very happy for Clayton Beeter and Luis Hill making the roster. Hill obviously is the comeback story. He had Tommy John surgery. What was it, in 22, if I'm not mistaken? Or at the end of 21? Long path to go. The Yankees brought him up. He showed some flashes in 21. The Yankees kept, as I said yesterday, bringing him up and then bringing him down, calling him up, sending him back down. Just a whole circus of things. Like, the one problem with him was the walks and the control. And I'm sure the Yankees, got through to him, and he started work on that through spring training. Looked better, definitely. So I'm happy for him. Clayton Beeter, one of the Yankees, emerging top prospects who they actually got in the Joey Gallo trade 2 years ago. I'm proud of him for making the roster. Obviously, Nick Birdy also was a key cog, should I say, through more one of those, if you give credit to Cashman for one thing, it's
Credit to
finding
them.
these random relievers who they can turn into something. Like like we talked about, Clay Holmes, whether he's consistent or not, turning him into something as a pivotal piece for the Yankee bullpen. Wandy Peralta. Now it's going to be Victor Gonzalez and Caleb Ferguson, obviously, but now you have Nick Birdy as well, who was one of those waiver pickups. I don't remember what team he was claimed off of, but
I
the
want
Yankees.
to say he was claimed off the Cubs.
Yeah, just double check that, obviously. But you know what? If the Yankees can do something, it's like somewhat
Yeah,
developing
it was
relief
off the Cubs.
pitching. It was the Cubs. So, yeah, listen, credit to, Birdie for
Them.
making the roster. The Yankees, as I said, know how to develop that certain area with the relievers. That's never been a problem with theirs. That's always somehow been a strength. But right now, if we're being completely honest, my worries with the starting pitching. Rodon was up and down during spring training. Do you take a lot of stock in a spring training? No. Um, Rodon's performance was, very much impact on his velocity. If his velocity was up, he was overpowering guys and striking them out. If the velocity was down, he's either being hit all over the place, having to rely on his other pitches in which he would be out of control. So as long as he finds that consistent velocity and the location, he should be good. But again, he's going to have a bounce back year. What's up to Jonathan? Big bounce back year, especially with Garrett Cole out of the frame for the first 2 months of the season. That's my concern. And then if Rodon pitches well, it eases the pressure off of the other guys. Marcus Stroman, Nestor Cortez, Luis Hill, all the back end guys that are following him. So again,
Now, how much are you lowering your expectation for Carlos Rodon?
well,
Considering the contract he was given in the current situation with Garrett Cole, how much are you lowering your expectations?
Well, I don't think he's going to be. I'm going to say he's not going to be an all-star, which would be disappointing, obviously.
Given the contract, but we are where we are.
Yes, I'm not going to say he's going to be an all-star right now. What was his Rodon? What was his ERA last year? 5, 6?
By the way, folks, let's get those likes up on YouTube.
Yes, please.
His ERA last year was a 6.85.
I'm going to throw you a random number. 3.89 will be his ERA.
Okay.
Or at least my expected ERA. If he goes down.
By the way, that was the worst ERA of his career other than two starts in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, listen, again, Rodon's also got to stay on the field too. He's been injury prone like hell, and that exactly isn't giving Yankee fans fond memories of Carl Pavano. But still, he's got to stay healthy. Velocity has to be up. Yankees have to keep a close eye on him.
No, I agree. I mean, I think it's kind of, again, and it's a criticism, but it's also a criticism on the player with respect, is that we have to lower expectations for Carlos Rodon because of the way he played last year. And it's just like, okay, well, he kind of had like 2 good years before he came to the Yankees. So you have that. Now, I have a little theory here. Now, personally, again, I mean, we'll talk about the Luis Hill thing because I think it's big, and then we'll also talk about the infield outfield. Is that I think Clayton Beeter. Now, who do you think gets more of the Michael King role? Is it Clayton Beeter or is it Luke Weaver? I think it's Clayton Beeter.
I could see definitely Beater getting that role. Now, Weaver's obviously more of a seasoned veteran. I don't think he's that good, to be honest, but maybe he takes the Albert Abreu role, and then you have Beater taking the Michael King role. Now, obviously, Beater's a starter, so Michael King was also a starter. Obviously, everybody remembers, but you stretch him out to reliever, you make him a long reliever. Obviously, can eat a lot of innings for you, and then obviously, when time comes, if Heel's not working out, you can always switch those two out. In my opinion, it's not the worst spot to put him, to be completely honest.
Rodon feels like the biggest X factor for the Yankees.
Yes.
I agree, but I don't. It's just like a middle feeling I have.
Oh,
I
you're
don't
playing
feel,
that middleman again?
yes. I just don't. I see it, but I don't.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm like, okay, I don't think he's going to have this tremendous impact on this Yankees team, but I definitely see it where if the Yankees offense isn't good enough, that he's going to be this impact that's not good.
I'm actually going to side more with Mike. I do think he's an X factor. I obviously just highlighted why.
Yeah.
Not that, like, obviously, World Series contenders aren't built in fucking April and May. But you know what? If you get off to a hot start and Garrett Cole comes back and he makes your rotation even better with the lineup hitting, that's a success, obviously. But if your pitching isn't doing anything and the lineup is trying to, trying to overmatch each team every night because the pitching isn't doing so well, mainly on Rodon and also the rest of the guys, Garrett Cole is going to have to come back and say, you know what, I got to carry this team again after I just had soreness in my arm, whatever the fact. Like, I think he plays a bigger role than most expect.
Now, do you think
We're more confident in this lineup, but the starting pitching again, I'm telling you, it's a major concern with this team. And the Yankees didn't exactly go out and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go sign Jordan Montgomery." They've just been talking. They have again not making the move. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying how it is. They didn't make a move on Corbin Burns. They didn't make a move on Dylan Cease. They held prospect back, as in Spencer Jones. They made their decision. Will it blow up in their face? We have no idea.
again, and we'll see if they could wait to the trade deadline because you don't know. Realistically, this rotation could be better by the trade deadline, and you
Yeah.
won't need a pitcher, or it could be like historically worse by the trade deadline, and they'll need somebody.
Yeah.
So
We always talk about starting pitching at the deadline, no matter what.
yeah, so I mean, Marcus Stroman, I think he's gonna have to play a solid role, and I don't think he's gonna have to be perfect, but if he's at
No,
least solid, like
because if you
maybe
remember, he was an all-star last year. He actually pitched really well in the first half for the Cubbies, but in the second half, he just blew up.
yeah,
And that
hopefully
was
he
the
doesn't do
problem.
that. If I'd rather him be consistently mid than this guy that lights up in the first half and shits the bed in the second half.
Yeah, that's fine. I think Stroman's like in his, obviously in his prime, he was a one. He was, phenomenal as a J starter, being one of the best pitchers in the league. But the thing was, you know, now where he's at now, I think he's a three starter in his role, ideally in his older age.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Um, talk about with
He's talking
Johnny.
about Professor Angry John
Oh, all right. Um, Jonathan says, I feel like for the last few years, the Yankees don't get that 1B pitcher. They get a few number 3 guys
being an ace.
behind an ace. Yeah. Yankees could go after Luzardo if the Marlins are selling at the deadline. Yeah, what was it? I don't know if it was behind the scenes. It may have been behind the scenes, actually, that Armand and John were talking about how the Marlins could be worse than the Mets and last in the division.
I mean, the only marquee signing that they made was what, Tim Anderson?
Right, but I still feel like they have a better core than the Nationals. Like, I don't think the Nationals are. I don't
Listen,
think.
the Nationals have C.J. Abrams. And I think they have their set of guys from that Padres Juan Soto trade, so they're going to look for them to develop at least.
Right, but at least I I just feel like the Marlin. Not that they're both like going all in, but who the fuck the Nationals sign exactly?
I don't know, honestly. Let me look
To
that
be
up.
fair, though, Stroman has been pitching like an ace. Well, he pitched like an ace last year. Spring training, I'm not going to count. I'm going to look and see during the season what actually goes on. Um, but they got Jorge Polanco too. Polanco's a little. He's not that good. I don't
Yeah,
think, right? Yeah, he's like
he's,
he
he's
hits like
he
what
only, you're,
220 on average.
you're talking about for what team? The Mariners?
Well, I
Because
mean, just in general.
I think that's where he went. He went to the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken, because they needed some middle infield help.
Okay, so I kind of underrated. Well, not that I underrated Polanco, but he had a good season a couple of years ago, but mostly around the 235, 255 average. So he's kind of mid.
He'll fit his role.
Joey Gallo. Oh,
So let's see.
yeah, that's right. Joey Gallo. He exists. Remember what he said about
That's
the
right.
Yankees a couple days ago.
Let me pull up the Washington Nationals just to double check one
The
more time.
Marlins have a ton of starting pitchers hurt, and they're going to take AJ Puck out of the pen and put him in the rotation. That's a good point.
Yeah, the Nationals' main acquisitions were Gallo, Nick Senzel, and Dylan Floro. So it's up to the prospects essentially.
Yeah. But I guess we could still like talk about the pitching a little bit. So, do you think like the starting pitching, and there should be a little bit of an obvious. Do you think it's like the biggest X factor?
Yeah, it is, without a doubt.
I
Rodon,
seriously just the way and you could call me negative or pessimistic. I just seriously hope that Garrett Cole comes back in 1 to 2 months.
oh,
Because you could
I hope so too.
oh well, they fucked up injuries on this guy. They fucked up, telling us about injuries about this guy. All like LeMahieu, he means a lot to the Yankees, but he doesn't mean as much as Garrett Cole.
Oh,
Garrett Cole means
fuck
the
no,
sun, the moon, and the fucking stars to the Yankees.
to the starting
You can talk about
rotation.
Rizzo, you could talk about Efros, but LeMahieu was, optimistic about playing opening day. Then it's a
Right.
long shot, and then now he's going to continue go in the season on the IL.
Yeah, it's. I think he means a lot. Obviously, he just came off winning a Cy Young, so
Yeah, and
that's how
it's the
pivotal he
ramp up
is.
period. The
Yep.
ramp up period. Beater pitching 1 inning is going to make that trade a win. Yeah, no, listen, I mean, I don't know why this thing keeps switching, so my bad on that one. But you see the Boone quote about third base.
Yeah,
If
Cabrera's
I
gonna be
have
playing third.
about what?
I said Cabrera's gonna be playing third.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly happy with it, but all I'm saying is the best the other parts of the lineup should do their job. So
Yeah,
we
we're
don't have to
expecting
hear
things from
much
Volpe
out
and
of the peanut gallery and Oswaldo Cabrera because he's not that good. He's not that good.
he's solid defensively, but
Solid. Don't put him in the outfield.
yeah,
Don't put him in the outfield. So what do you think of now? I had concerns about this coming into the season. I want to hear your thoughts. Yep, I did see that, Armand. Yeah, he wasn't very good anyway, Mr. Damian Harris. What are your thoughts on the bullpen, the way it's constructed right now? Ron Marinaccio was optioned. Nick Ramirez was optioned. I sent a couple other guys down. So your bullpen, I mean, Holmes is your closer. Loaizaga is probably your 8th inning or 7th inning
setup
guy.
man probably.
Because Canely is starting the season on the IL.
Yes.
So you have that. Who's your 7th inning guy on this list? Would it be Caleb Ferguson? Would it be Victor Gonzalez? Because would you, not that he's as good as him, but would you imagine Victor Gonzalez as a Wandy Peralta?
Yeah, him or Ferguson, in my opinion. I think Victor Gonzalez got more of the pitching time last year. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But Gonzalez played in 34 games. Ferguson actually got more, 68 games. So he also had 3 saves and 70 strikeouts in 16 and thirds innings. But either or could honestly, be that 7th to 8th inning guy. I mean, 7th
Now,
mostly.
I think this is a little bit of a take, but I think it's because of his velocity. I actually think the height of Nick Birdie's play with the Yankees could be a 7th inning guy.
You think so?
That's just my personal opinion. Because, like, in my opinion, I imagine 2 things for like a 6th inning guy. I imagine Michael King, right?
Right.
Not the best on velocity, but a guy who could work multiple innings and has like some good stuff. I mean, Birdie's working on a couple of different things, but he's got like massive velocity. So I'm thinking like 7th inning for him. And again, he's not the primary 7th inning. I think it's like a Ferguson or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the velo for Caleb Ferguson per Baseball Savant. His fastball velo actually ranks in the 80th percentile, averaging around 95, 96.
Yeah.
And for
and he's
Gonzalez,
coming off of 2 years Tommy John. So
I was going to say also Gonzalez, he's a little lower in that aspect. His fastball average is around 94. Now he does throw a sinker like Wandy. That's why I brought up he's a possible Wandy comparison.
True. Brian Hogue said that Boone said that Cabrera is the backup shortstop, but Cabrera is also likely the opening day third. Sounds like there could be a trade in the works between now and Thursday. I mean, yeah, you could definitely see that. I mean, it'd be interesting to see who they bring in though, like, and why they bring in.
That what's his name got hurt and was scratched out of the lineup today.
Who?
Why am I forgetting his name? He was a popular name competing.
Vivas?
Yes.
Oh, Vivas. I mean, he's more like second base, but
just to add depth to the infield.
and he was in one of the trades this offseason, the Dodger trades.
Dodgers.
It was either Gonzalez or it was Ferguson.
I'll double check on that.
So
Yorbit Vivas.
Yeah, Vivas play. I think he could make
Victor Gonzalez.
Yeah, and the Yankees really don't have a backup infielder right now. Like they have 4 straightaway infielders. That's it. If somebody gets hurt, good luck.
Peraza's still hurt.
That's what
right?
I mean. There is a point there that Brian Hoke does talk about is there could be a trade to where Rordvet is moved for some sort of either a prospect, and then they use the prospect, they turn him around. So there's definitely more movement coming in. There's definitely more movement coming in. Now, again, I don't know who they're going to bring in. I think if they bring in somebody who could start a good number of games, it tells us a lot about DJ's foot injury.
That's true. And even Boone's not even sure. Like, I'm going to say it right now, I don't trust the Yankees regarding injuries, whether they comes out of their mouth or whatever. The way they talk to the PR and the social media and, just the media in general and how they report injury, just like the Jets. But anyways, not the point. Boone says he's not even sure if LeMahieu's going to play the home opener, which is what, on April 5th?
Yeah, April 5th. Yep. So, I mean, again, I just hate the handling of injuries, but at the same time, we'll know via trade. Like if they get, this guy from this place and he's played a number of games that he's going to start. And again, maybe we'll see some other movement as well, but I would rather than just stick to their guns and, fire away than just say, hey, and be like half-assed about it. What's up to Jets Mess in the building?
What's up, sir?
Edmundo Sosa.
He's from the Cardinals, I think. And the Yankees apparently were interested in him in years prior.
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Last year, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs, 74 Ks in 251 batting average in a total of 104 games. He doesn't walk that often, which scares me.
Sosa?
He walked 8 times in 300 plate appearances.
I mean, there's not a lot of guys who walk a lot, so to be fair.
Well, it depends.
And he's a backup infielder, to be fair, so who's really
if he's going to start, then,
Or would you rather do Cabrera and Sosa, do back and forth, essentially platooning them?
I mean, you could, but again, even like I'm realizing this now, and I think the rest of the Yankee fan base should. You're not going to get like some premium third baseman.
No, absolutely not.
I still kind of wanted them to go after J.D. Davis, even though he hates the high fastball. But he's like a name that, okay, you could start at third base. And even then, like you could maybe float him. That would make DJ LeMahieu more of a platoon player. But now I saw this. This is not because of one of our supporters saying it. I said it. No, not me saying it. But somebody said it on Instagram, and I know these fan pages tend to overreact and exaggerate sometimes. Would you possibly look when he comes back at moving DJ LeMahieu?
It's possible. I mean, what team is going to want him? What's the asking price? What's the price that the other team's willing to pay? Because it's sad because his body's just completely declined. Like he had He had a poor 2021 season. I was expecting him to come back in 2022 and hit at least 280, and he hasn't even done that. And he's just been broken down with injuries, just constantly beaten down, declined. And even when he goes up to the plate, he's not even healthy, which sucks. And I like DJ LeMahieu. I like him, the player, when he's healthy, but the problem is he hasn't been healthy.
Yeah. This is a good point by Jacob. The Yankees also lost a backup first baseman in DJ.
Yep. Versatile.
If Rizzo goes down, who's going to be playing? And I don't like Ben Rice is probably a year away.
Yeah. And I know,
year or two
obviously,
away.
we talk what?
I was saying a year or two away.
You also talk about all the time Murakami.
I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about this year.
Yeah.
I think Van Meter's more of a middle infielder, plays more second base, and he's also garbage. So you probably need to go out and get a backup first baseman too.
Yeah.
Now you think about it. So that's good. That has to be on the Yankees to-do list. Since he is gone, who's leadoff? I think it should be Doogie. Why am I blanking on the name?
Let me see.
Yes, I did see that, Jeffrey. What's up? We do need a lot of backups. That's actually true. We do. And again,
Verdugo.
I'd like Jahmai Jones
Verdugo.
Verdugo. Um, or Oscar Gonzalez for first. If he could play first, I welcome it. But Verdugo I see is like definitely could be a one hitter. And it would change the dynamic of
The lineup.
the
In the order.
lineup. Personally, with Juan Soto hitting second, you kind of would want a righty.
Yeah.
So
Now, do you move Gleyber Torres into the leadoff spot? Is the question. Do you do that to Volpe?
I would actually start the season like that.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see why.
Just as an experiment.
Because
Yeah,
initially, like I like with this lineup fully healthy, I would have put Verdugo at like 6th or 7th. Not that it's a bad thing, but it talks about the depth of the lineup and what you hope it is to be.
I'm gonna look at Gleyber Torres' splits from last year just to get an eye of like what
And I
he
also think you can look at the splits in where he hit. Like if he hit, this is when he hits leadoff XXX.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 2023 splits leadoff. Let's see. Batting first, 272, 17 Ks, 4 home runs,
How many
9 RBIs.
how many games did he play?
In the leadoff spot?
Yes.
He played 33 games.
It's a decent enough sample size. I think he could run
I
with it.
mean, you have three. In my opinion, you have three candidates. You have Verdugo, you have Torres, and you have Anthony Volpe.
I think you can. I think.
I know. I would love to put Anthony Volpe in more spots to steal bases, but at the
Yes.
same time, you need to, which should be a thing we should talk about at some point. Is you need him to take an extra step. Like
Oh yeah,
let's
absolutely.
like any Yankee fan that's sitting here and like kind of ignoring that is kind of
With the
it's
blue
kind of being
colored glasses.
it's kind of like wearing the blue colored glasses. Um, but I would say right now it should be down to Glaber and Verdugo. But
Okay.
you should maybe experiment with Volpe in that spot because he could steal bases.
Right. But you also could have, Volpe, let's just say like we're in the bottom of the fourth, right? 9-1 and 2 is coming up for the Yankees, or in the third inning. Volpe gets on with a walk, and you have Gleyber Torres. Volpe could steal second. Gleyber Torres drives him in. So at least if you have like a table setter with the first or at least the ninth spot, like ninth is like almost like second leadoff in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what I didn't even realize because I was looking at Jacob's comment. It made me think about Aaron Boone's contract. And then I'm like, Tibbs' contract is up after the year.
Not after this year. Next
No?
year.
Because I was reading it in the papers this morning.
Let me think. Tibbs was 2021, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23. Next year will be his final year. Next year will be.
Okay.
And I'll add a real quick note. Dante DiVincenzo might make Knicks history tonight. Not in terms of the Fournier thing, but he has the potential to hit the most threes in a game since J.R. Smith.
Good. Yeah, this one was
that was a stupid idea.
We called that game. That was
a game of full on stupidity. The lineup and running out of the door, pinch hitting when you need runs, but that whole thing, you had Phil Nevin waving Judge around.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking stupid.
The game was moronic. I was so defeated after that game. I was like, yeah, we are fucked.
Yeah, honestly, even if Vivas did not get scratched, I don't think Vivas was making the team. Yeah, I agree. I don't think like he was threatening anybody's job, but I mean, if the Yankees do need somebody to come up and play a few games, it's kind of that guy. Vivas' spring training hit 217, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs. So, any more talking to bullpen? Any more talking to the Yankees? Because we could get to Volpe.
I'm going to talk about Volpe, sure.
Obviously,
he won the Gold Glove last year somehow.
The Gold Glove is like the fucking Pro Bowl. Let's calm down.
I actually kind of disagree with that, but I don't think I'm going to be completely honest. I think Volpe was like average, above average. Like Gold Glove is for outstanding fielders, and Platinum Glove, well, for great fielders. You have the Platinum Glove as well, but I don't think Volpe was either of those. I thought he was like average to above average. He did make some errors in the field. The arm strength, I think, lacks, which is obviously a problem. And that's why everybody touts Oswald Peraza. He's a better glove. He also has the better arm. But just overall, just talking, Volpe needs to be better as a fielder. You could say, oh, how could he be better when you want to go glove? Again, just watching him play, he was an average to above average fielder. Sorry, that's my opinion. But and obviously hitting, he's got to strike out less, and he supposedly made changes to his swing in spring. But we got to see that come. We got to see that really make results in the regular season.
Now, obviously, there's a lot because I feel like there's a lot of things going on, and he hit 314 in spring training, which is really good, obviously. So you have Judge, you have Stanton, you have that core top 6 of the lineup. I think it's still top 6 or top 5 at least because you got Glaber, you got Judge, you got Soto, and I'm not naming in order.
Rizzo.
You got Rizzo. Glaber was 1. You got not Verdugo. Name I'm missing here. Let me start again. So you got DJ. No, not DJ. Again, starting off again.
Judge, Soto, Rizzo,
Stanton. Judge, Soto, Rizzo, Stanton,
Glaber. That's 5.
That's 5. Okay, so top 5. And you can mix in your Austin Wells. I think Austin Wells should get the starting catcher job personally.
Oh, absolutely. I think so too.
And stop with this backup stuff. And then obviously that leaves you with Oswaldo probably hitting 8, and then Volpe hitting 9. And there's a lot of stars on the team. So, should Yankee fans reason their expectations, or should they still have them high for Volpe? Because remember, number one, you got a number of stars on the team, so he may not see all the attention, which might be good for him. But 2, he was the number 1 overall prospect. The Jeter comparisons came in.
He's the Yankees' golden boy. Let's be fair, he still is.
No, I don't disagree, but where?
Listen,
again, between those 2 mediums, where are you?
I still think they should have expectations high. I think they should still have, they should still expect him to grow because at the end of the day, he's again top prospect. If he gets better, he becomes an all-star, he just makes the Yankees lineup even better. The higher his ceiling goes, the Yankees' ceiling goes as just a general team.
Right. So, any final thoughts?
Not regarding the Yankees subject, but we do know, I'm sorry I have to say this again, Donnie DiVincenzo has now, he has tied single-game franchise history for the Knicks, making the most three-pointers since Fournier and J.R. Smith, 10 in a game.
Are you ready for MLB prediction time?
Yes.
All right, give me 1 second. I got to write these down.
Yeah, Donnie DiVincenzo's been phenomenal, folks. I know. This is MLB subject, but it's just phenomenal. We only got this guy for $11 million a year, and DiVincenzo probably has a chance now to break the Knicks franchise record for most three-pointers in a game.
All right. So let me do it at least according to this. Rookie of the year is hard to predict in the MLB, so I'm not planning to do that one.
Unless you want to do Wyatt Langford.
Yeah, you could.
Or Jackson Holliday if he comes up.
True. Let's start with the AL East.
Okay.
How do you think the division will stack up?
I still think the Orioles are the top team. Corbin Burns being added just solidified them as the top team.
And write these down for you too.
Yeah, let's put this down. Let's write things down.
I think the Orioles are the top team.
I know the Yankees got better, but to add Corbin fucking Burns, as they had pitching problems. To be fair, that was one of the weaker things. They have the fucking lineup. There's no joke about that. Again, pitching was a bit of their weakness. Starting pitching, Felix Bautista goes down for They still have Yanier Cano, who's phenomenal. Adding Craig Kimbrell and Corbin Burns, you can't really complain.
Since this actually plays into what we're doing.
And I know
now,
some of their guys are hurt, like Kyle Bradish, but still, this guy, should I say Corbin Burns just adds a lot.
Here's one. The Yankees are projected to be in last place by Baseball Reference and to win 71 games in 2024.
I'm sorry, that's Baseball Reference, you said?
Yeah.
I don't. Listen. There's my reasons to be pessimistic. I don't think they're going to be in last place. I do not. I think
No,
they're second or third.
I don't think they'd be that bad.
No, I think they're going to be 90, at least above 90 wins. They'll be between 92 and 95, in my opinion. But they're not going to win the division. Even though the Orioles, I think, they might start out slow, but who knows? Again, we're just making our predictions, but I think the Orioles are the top dog right now. I think they are. They're a lineup that can get even better. That's my personal opinion. You're going to see a lot of young guys grow this year.
Yankees, I have them in second place.
That's fair. I would do that too.
Third place, I'm gonna say the Rays.
Yeah, don't ever count out the Rays. They just it's like magic sometimes. Like they have a lot of pitchers out at the moment. What's his name? McClanahan being one of them. Obviously,
They
they're
traded
top.
Tyler Glasnow.
They just traded Tyler Glass. They're a factory for pitching. Can we be completely honest? They're a factory. They'll never really spend. The problem with their organizations, they'll never really spend. But it's almost like they don't have to because they just come out with pitching year after year after year after year.
But it always has a ceiling.
That's true. And here's some of the key additions, by the way. Phil Matone from the Houston Astros. I don't think you're going to recognize these names: Pepio, DeLuca, Jose Caballero. Richie Palacios is familiar. I think he was what? I'm trying to remember what team he's with, but I couldn't remember.
Well, his
And they
brother
also re-signed Chris Davinsky.
Well, didn't his brother play for Telecom? Josh Palacios? He did. He did.
Yep,
So,
you're right.
little fun fact.
Palacios was at Richie Palacios was with the Cardinals and the Guardians. But yes, both were born in Brooklyn. As you said, Josh played for Telecom.
Max asks, "What are the thoughts on the hip drop tackle?" That will actually be our next subject after the MLB predictions.
Yes.
And then of course we could break in Jets, Giants, and all that other stuff. And then Armin asks about the 3 seed, which we'll get into a little bit. I got the Blue Jays at 4.
Yeah, I do too. The Red Sox are going to be terrible this year. They have no starting pitching,
and they don't like to spend.
They didn't want to spend no money. Again, let's look at the Blue Jays' key additions. I know I'm talking about the Red Sox, but still same thing. The Jays. Hold on, let's pull it up. I'm just reading this per MLB.com just to at least refresh myself. They added Kevin Kiermaier, or I should say re-signed Kevin Kiermaier. Not bad. He was a decent, solid fielder. But to me, like, here's the guys they lost. Brandon Belt, okay, veteran DH. Whit Merrifield, he went to the Phillies. Hyun-Jin Ryu, he went back to Japan or Korea, right?
I believe it was Korea, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, that's a loss, even though he was hurt most of the time. Jordan Hicks was a loss, but he's going to be a starter in San Francisco, which kind of baffles me. Matt Chapman, they lost, but they really haven't had any replacement. Their additions are Yariel Rodriguez, IKF, Justin Turner, and a Kevin Kiermaier. That doesn't wow me, honestly.
Other than that, no. So I got Blue Jays at 4, Red Sox at 5.
Yes, same here. But I apologize. I got to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. So as Luca uses the bathroom, I'm going to point out my predictions for the MLB. I almost said MLB Central, but the AL Central. Now this division's always weird. And I will say, it's very interesting that the Tigers were second place last year over the Guardians. Now, I think last year was Tito's last year. I'm gonna actually do some reverse psychology here. I'm gonna put the White Sox last because I just don't think there's like any legit future with that team. Plus, they traded Dylan Cease. They do have some young prospects like Drew Thorpe. Is Spencer Jones gonna make the roster? No, he's probably gonna start. If my bets were on starting somewhere, I think Spencer Jones might start in AAA, considering the way his spring was going. But he might also start in AA. So I think, let's see. Right now, they haven't really assigned him anywhere, but I think he probably starts out in AAA. And they don't really have a rush for him to go to the majors. So, yeah. So he will probably just end up in Scranton with the Rail Riders, which I'll probably get 1 or 2 games to go to this season. So I got the White Sox at number 5. At number 4, I think the problem I don't like the Tigers as a team. I really don't. The Guardians, it's like both of them I'm teeter-tottering on. The Twins are always up there for some reason, so I'm going to get the Twins at number 1. I think the Royals are good enough at 3. And then you'll have one team fall and one team rise.
We're talking about the Central, right?
I'm talking about the Central. So I'm
Such
doing
a
kind
weird
of reverse.
division.
Huh?
I said such a weird division.
No, it's such a garbage division. But I am doing reverse psychology and just filling in the blanks.
Okay.
So I got the Twins at 1. What do you think?
I would say it comes down between Twins and Guardians.
Okay. I got the White Sox at 5.
Yeah, the White Sox ain't doing shit this year.
I got the Royals at 3.
They actually made some signings, so you can't rule that out. They signed. Here's some of the guys they signed. Frazier. There's 4 not major signings, but it's major for them in terms of their standards. Frazier, Stratton. I think he just came off winning a World Series. Hunter Renfroe, Will Smith, which is their former guy, I think. Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo. Not bad in my opinion for a Royals offseason and a team that's really afraid to spend. I can't really complain. As long as but they also, I'll tell you this much, they need guys to step up in the young core. Like as UT put it in one of his videos, for every Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino, there's at least one Hunter Dozier.
No, that's right. So I got the Guardians at 2 and the Tigers at 4.
Guardians at 2, Tigers at 4. Tigers just really don't impress me. They don't.
Surprisingly, they were second place, but that's because they had a dog.
That's a shit. Again, it's a shitty division, which can make anybody look good. Let's be honest.
All right,
but even the Guardians. How
do your division rankings stack up?
Absolutely. I just want to go through key additions. Guardians were 3rd place last season. Mind you, I will say that's what is also a factor. And how people, the new age bugs are going to get on me like, oh, the manager doesn't matter. Well, they lost Terry Francona. I mean, Francona retired obviously due to health issues, but he is a major leader in that clubhouse. And, obviously Stephen Vo has to take over a big void. So here's some key additions they had. Scott Barlow, the reliever. They took a chance on Estevan Florial. Austin Hedges, who's Carlos Carrasco, who re-signed on a minor league deal. Not really flashy, in my opinion. They obviously have Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor, but they also need guys like Kyle Manzardo to step up because he's the number 2 prospect. And as for the Twins, pulling that up right now, Carlos Santana, Anthony DeSclafani were the main signings. So it's a weird division. Again, we talk about, it's such a bad division, but they also have guys like Royce Lewis, Byron Buxton, for Christ's sake, needs to stay healthy. Same thing with Carlos Correa. He needs to have a bounce back year. Okay. So I think, I'm going to throw the Twins at first.
All right. And how's your rest of the division stacking up?
Let me write that down. So for the Central, I'm picking the Twins. I'm going to take the Guardians in 2nd, Royals in 3rd, Tigers in 4th, White Sox 5th.
All right. How is your West stacking up? I want to hear this.
Now, the Rangers do have some pitchers hurt. On the IL, I think, is Scherzer and DeGrom, so that's obviously a minus.
They didn't re-sign Montgomery.
They still have Evaldi. I think they're still going to be number 1, in my opinion. If I'm being completely honest, I think they're still going to be number 1. That team is flying with young talent. They just had Wyatt Langford make the roster. Obviously, guys like Adolis Garcia had a phenomenal year, especially he lit up in the playoffs like a freaking shooting star. Who was the lefty rookie from last year who's going to take another leap? Was it Evan Carter?
I'm going to take a look.
I think it was Evan Carter.
Evan Carter, you're right.
Yep, Evan Carter. I think he's going to take another step up. But without Scherzer and DeGrom, their rotation is still somewhat deep. Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, John Gray, Dane Dunning. They also have Cody Bradford, who's going to start this season. So that's like a solid rotation. But again, they have enough offense to at least complement it. And their signings this year, Kirby Yates, I think he's a phenomenal reliever. Obviously, when he's at his best, David Robertson, very sure-handed veteran reliever, and Tyler Mahle as well. So I think the Rangers are going to be number one. I know that they lost Montgomery and Smith and Stratton and Mitch Garver and Chapman, but I think they're number one. But I'll start off with number two. It's a debate. You got the Astros and you have the Mariners. Now, the Mariners, I'm going to go up to their additions. They added Mitch Garver for a 2-year deal. Very solid signing. They did lose Eugenio Suarez. They also lost Robbie Ray. They also got Jorge Polanco.
Didn't they trade Marco Gonzalez?
They traded Marco Gonzalez. Marco Gonzalez is not even that good, to be honest. But they did reunite with old friend Mitch Haniger. Jared Kelenic is gone. He's with the Braves. Teoscar Hernandez is gone. He's a Dodger. So I think that they potentially could be a third-place team once again. They'll be fighting for that wild card, but I think they're still third place. That's why I'm putting Houston second. And obviously losing Dusty Baker to retirement. Obviously, there's potential with the contract of the whole contract battle between the Astros and Alex Bregman. That's going to be a big factor. Altuve got extended. Obviously, they also lost Michael Brantley as well. But I think the Astros, they still play their hearts out. And I think they still will for Espada. So Astros second, Mariners third.
So you're not putting the top two, Oakland.
What's that?
You're not putting Oakland in the top two.
Nah. But Angels fourth, Athletics fifth.
So yeah, I'm going to surprise people with this.
Oh, boy.
Astros 1.
Interesting.
Athletics 5. Angels 4. Mariners 2. Rangers 3.
You're throwing the Rangers in third place?
Yep.
Explain.
I think the pitching is going to take a big toll. And I feel like, now their offense is pretty good, but that's just one of my hot takes. I feel like it's take a stab in the dark. But again, I could be wrong.
So you're expecting like an almost major setback.
I wouldn't say a major setback, but I feel like the Mariners are going to lap them. Let's go with the National League. Let's start there before we get into football.
Let me also say Yanir Diaz also had a phenomenal year for the Astros, or at least he's rising to the potential. And you also have Yordan Alvarez. Just want to put that out there. But the National League East, as you said.
All right.
I'll give you some of the. I'll start off with the first two that are the main contenders to lead the division: Phillies and Braves. Right?
Yeah.
The Phillies this offseason, they added. No, we'll go with the Braves. They added Chris Sale, who you have no idea is going to be healthy or not. Hopefully, again, Braves are fans hoping he is. They also acquired Kelenic. They take on his deal. They have Ronaldo Lopez and Aaron Bummer from the White Sox, or former White Sox players. They did lose Eddie Rosario. They did lose Mike Soroka. Soroka hasn't been healthy. Kirby Yates, Kyle Wright, and Nicky Lopez as well.
All right. So
the question is, according to MLB.com, who do they have behind Fried and Strider?
True. Here's the question I'll pose to you. Who's your 1 and 2 right now? Obviously Braves, Phillies, but what order?
The Phillies did sign Aaron Nola back. They still have a hell of a lineup.
They still have Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler's phenomenal. I'm going to put the Phillies first, actually.
I was thinking about that, but I'm like, let me put the Braves first. So we swap there. Who's your third place team?
You know what? I'm actually going to say the Mets. I don't think they'll be that bad, but I don't think they're going to be good either. They're going to be 75 to maybe like 85 wins because, JD Martinez, I think, raises the ceiling a bit. Obviously, Senga being out is a huge hit in the bum, but Mets are going to be...
Rosario went to the Nationals.
Rosario went to the Nationals. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying he left the Braves.
No. I was talking to Jacob.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, just making the case.
Soroka went to the White Sox.
Yes, so of course the White Sox.
Soroka, Kopech, all of them. I actually have the Marlins in that spot.
You have the Marlins in third? Do you think they're going to take that step?
I don't think they'll take a step, but I think they'll be better than the Mets. That's my little hot take.
Mind you, Alcantara is hurt.
Yeah. So. and they have Skip Schumacher as manager. Mets in 4th and Nationals in 5th.
I'm going to say Nationals 4th, Marlins 5th.
Okay.
I think you'll start to see. I think the fruits will start to bear.
For the Nationals?
Yes.
Okay. Central. I think it's down to the Cubs and the Reds for first place. I'm placing the Reds in 2nd.
Let's look at their key additions, shall we?
And Cardinals, I'm placing in 5th.
I just meh with the Cardinals. Meh. So the
I
Cubs.
think the Brewers are going to go in 3rd. I think the Cubs will be 1st, and I think the Pirates will be 4th.
Let's see. The Cubs this offseason. Let's start with that. They added Craig Counsell, which is a big move as a manager. They got Shota Imanaga, and they also got Hector Neris for the bullpen. Very key, obviously. So I'm going to check something out real quick. Bellinger, let me see. Yeah, Bellinger's back. I just want to make sure of that. Bellinger's back. They also have Suzuki. I think the Cubs will be first. It's gonna be that's another bad division in my opinion. That's another bad division, but I'm gonna say that the Cubs going first, the Reds are second.
All right. And how does the rest of the division stack out?
You got was it Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, and the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's how I have it.
Cardinals will be in 4th. Hold on. I might throw a hot take of my own out there. I'm gonna say Cardinals are last.
That's not a hot take.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Cardinals. They're just meh. And plus they don't have a good manager either. And freaking what's his name? Oli Marmol.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the West.
We all know who's winning the West, right?
Yeah, obviously the Colorado Rockies. I have the Dodgers winning it.
Absolutely.
2nd place, I got the D-backs.
That's fair. They're not going to go back. I don't think they're going back to the World Series, but yeah, D-backs.
Number 3, the Giants.
I'll check that out. That's not a hot take. That's actually quite a bright take. But the thing is, let's look at their additions too. Giants, let's see who they added. Per the page. Jung-Hoo Lee, I think it's solid. Robbie Ray, if he's healthy, he's phenomenal. Tom Murphy, Jordan Hicks, who's a starter, which I don't like that he's a starter, and Jorge Soler. So it's like, okay, but they
Bob
still
Melvin's
haven't.
a manager too.
Bob Melvin, that is a key. Gabe Kapler sucks. And also the Padres got Mike Shildt, but
So,
and they also
3 to 5. How does your division stack out?
Rockies are dead last. We know that, but I don't know. It's like the Padres are gonna be torn down to the studs eventually. So I'm gonna go with the Giants in 3rd, and the Giants can't even attract key free agents. Let's be honest. Judge, Yamamoto, Otani, but they somehow have
missed
like
on a lot of guys.
Team. They're true, but at least they have Jung-Hoo Lee. He's their marquee signing.
But any final thoughts? Any other predictions you want to make?
Okay, now let me just think of something.
MVP. I'm not doing MVP anymore.
Okay,
because of Shohei Ohtani. It's like
What about you want to do like early wild card predictions and stuff like that? We already got the division.
All right, which teams are making the playoffs?
Okay.
So you got the top 3 division leaders. We could start in the American League.
And again, how many seeds are in the wild card? We got 3, right?
3 so I think it's what, 7?
Yeah. Yankees. I think the Astros and Mariners. I don't think the Guardians make it.
So, so here's who I'm picking, right? I got Orioles, Yankees, Twins, Astros, Mariners, Rangers. That's who I think is going to make it.
You said Yankees, Twins.
Actually, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me take the Rays too. So that's 7. Orioles, Yankees, Rays, Twins, Astros, Rangers, Mariners.
I have the Orioles, the Yankees, the Astros, the Twins, the Mariners, and the Rangers.
Okay. And National League, who do you have?
National League. Obviously, you've got the Phillies, Cubs, and Dodgers. Why did I say Rangers? D-backs, I think they're going back. I don't think they're winning the world, going back to the World Series. I don't think they're there yet. I think the Reds have a potential spot to be in the one of the wild cards. So Reds,
Absolutely.
Braves, and D-backs.
Okay. Let's see. So I got Braves, Phillies, Cubs, Reds, Dodgers, D-backs, Giants.
I got Phillies, Cubs, Dodgers.
Okay, so Luca has tapped out. We got the black screen again, which means his computer probably died. So I got, as I iterated before, Braves, Phillies, Cubs, Reds, Brewers, and no, not Brewers, Dodgers, D-backs, Giants. Apologies for the technical difficulties on Luca's end. I guess he didn't figure that he needed a laptop charger. So, just give me 1 second, folks. But we could probably start moving into football now. And the NFL has banned the hip drop tackle, which is a controversial subject. Now, of course, people in the comment section, let me know what you guys think of the hip drop tackle being banned. I think now I understand, of course, the NFL has to, of course, I can't evaporate myself from the screen, but with that being said, I know the NFL is obvious, and also the NFL has put something else in to where they, what do you call it? They kind of obviously want the safety stuff and all that other stuff, but also in terms of the roughing the passer rule, I don't know if you guys have heard about that. It was actually sent in the chat a couple of hours ago, to where they are going to start reviewing the what do you call it? The rules to. Oh, you're back. I thought you. What the hell happened?
My laptop died.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the hip drop ban?
I think it's stupid, and I think we are heading towards flag football.
Yeah, I agree. It's hot garbage. I don't want flag football.
Like, how do you like? To me, in my opinion, as well, the refs are going to have more of a say in games now. Like, that could cost somebody a game, potentially a playoff spot too. It's going to get even worse from here.
Right. And go pull up that that roughing the passer rule or whatever the NFL is trying to review. I think Mike Moran makes it a good point. It makes defenders' jobs even harder. And what if you're like a 224 linebacker trying to cover a 250 tight end?
That's true.
How are you going to bring him down? What are you going to jump on him? So it's just like, how do you avoid tackling somebody? I mean, I get it. The NFL's with all this safety stuff, but I don't know, man. It just.
So here's what it was per Tom Pelissero. This is big. NFL Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay told me the replay assistant will now be permitted to correct certain types of incorrect calls for roughing the passer and intentional grounding. Must be purely objective that the quarterback wasn't hit in the head or was out of the pocket.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, is it like an automatic review or?
I'll see what the.
They should have like this, not this. What the XFL did before they disbanded. They had the guy in the booth.
I thought it was. Yeah, they did have the guy in the booth, but I thought they had the
Sky Judge,
the drone.
Sky Judge.
Yeah, Sky Judge.
So
it doesn't say like in specifics, but it says Pelissero adds. Competition committee has long opposed challenges to penalty calls, but it essentially substitutes one person's judgment for another's. Much more narrow, but another step towards empowering replay system to fix clear and obvious mistakes. But I think the NFL is going to try to screw with that, honestly.
Right. And now the NFL is concerned about quarterback play, or at least offense.
What was it? A 3 to 4 point drop in the last couple of years in points per game
Well,
in
I
terms of
think they
both
had
teams
it at like
combined.
40 something, and then it was like 43 was this year's mark.
Yeah, I don't get why. It's because of all the injuries, I'm telling you. It's all the injuries.
Well, when you have garbage turf and well, what can I say? What can I say? But we went over that with the NFL. Yeah, I know. I saw your little joke in there, Sunil. What about the third challenge thingy? They're changing that. The third challenge.
I saw that. Let me see, let me try to pull that up again.
And I literally just see a meme: personal foul, hip drop tackle, number 52 on the defense, half a distance to the goal. You know, oh, they're actually because technically, that tackle that was made in the Rams Titans Super Bowl
Yeah.
that
So,
counts as a hip drop tackle.
so now winning one of two challenges means teams will get a third instead of needing to go 2 of 2.
Sure, I mean that doesn't really,
That's not a big swinger.
yeah, like that doesn't swing me a lot. Update: JJ McCarthy draft odds. Commanders' second overall pick: Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and then it goes down to JJ McCarthy. I want to know why JJ's. I honestly like. We could get into this a little bit, talk about the Jets, and then also
Yeah.
prospect of the week too. I don't know. First of all, I get the JJ hype of like going up draft boards, and Jim Harbaugh had a lot to say. Now, there's a little tidbit out there. I don't know if you saw it.
Mhm.
Do you think he's trying to get a team to trade up to 5 and they trade out?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, the Chargers need a wide receiver more importantly because they're most
They
of their
need a
guys are
couple
gone.
wide receivers. How about that?
What?
So they need a couple wide receivers.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think that's going to be the priority. But I think the Chargers are also trying to gain more assets, obviously, to fill those needs because you have. I mean, obviously they have both said Max still, but Williams and Keenan Allen gone. They need wide receiver help, and they're going to try to get as much as possible with the veteran coaching they have.
Yes, they got 5, 37, 69, 105, 110, 140, 180, 225, and 253. So you at least want maybe a little bit more on the premium pick side. I mean, they
Absolutely.
need defense. But no, I just think this like everyone is taking all of this JJ hype way too seriously. Because what's this new rule? Not new rule. This new thing about, oh yeah, Adam Peters is considering taking JJ at 2.
It's a bad smokescreen.
Does,
Nobody
like,
actually believes that.
if anyone believes that, I mean, please come forward and talk with us. But it's just why, like that again. Hopefully, a lot of people don't believe that, and if it does happen, then I don't think it changes things that much, honestly.
I mean, it kind of does if McCarthy's picked second. I'll tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
You have Caleb Williams going first overall. That's a guarantee, in my opinion. Second, JJ McCarthy, as we're trying to highlight, like as a prediction, obviously. Third, the Patriots are taking quarterback, I think. So it could be one of May or Daniels. Then one of them drops to the Giants, in my opinion. Or again, there's a possibility that the Vikings trade up. So it kind of does.
They could also trade up to 5.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Here's where I'm gonna ask you a question, and I think we were talking about this in some other chat. Yeah, fuck the betting odds. Respectfully, fuck the betting odds because I don't think they know what they're talking about. Do you think there's an inclination? Now I know Monty Austin-Fort said that they're open to trading at that pick. Do you think there's an inclination for Arizona to stay at 4, given that they will probably get the first wide receiver of the draft, being Marvin Harrison Jr., and he is the best player in the draft?
An inclination?
Because they need, number one, I think they have all the cards.
Yeah.
Like they stay at 4. They could still get more draft picks. And we talked about it yesterday. They could trade with the Vikings, get 11, 23, and still have 27. Which, yes, you do get one more draft pick, but at the same time, at the expense of moving down. And again, you could get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4 or you could get Roma Dunze or Brian Thomas at 11.
Right. And now the
Like,
question
does that extra first round pick really fucking matter?
now,
Of someone who's
obviously,
someone who's going to change your franchise, like not change your franchise, but like I don't. If we're talking Minnesota, I don't think from going 11-4, I don't think they're giving up next year's first, because we heard that rumor when we were in Bama, or from the secondhand source, that
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray is not going to be in Zona next year, and I don't think the Cardinals are going to be like that bad. They may not be great, but they'll probably be within the top 10 range of
They'll
drafting.
probably win like 6 games or something like that.
So, I mean, with this draft, they got 11 draft picks. So they could probably, set themselves up really nicely.
Right.
But again, I just don't think it's worth going from 4 to 11 unless you have a first next year.
Right.
Because at least the first next year sets you up to get a quarterback, to whereas, you don't get the first, you go back.
And you obviously got to measure it.
Dunze.
Let me say this. You also got to measure how good the Vikings are going to be. They're not going to be that good, but is it going to be low enough for a top draft pick for a quarterback like Quinn Ewers or Shador Sanders?
That's a good point. It's a good point. And again, like, you could get that first and maybe take those 2 and trade up for Shador. And to be honest with you, it is a tough, it's a tough read on who's going to need a quarterback next year.
Absolutely.
Because it could come down to a couple teams. It could come down to Denver if they don't pick Bo Nix or any of those guys. It could come down to the Raiders. It could come down to the Giants. I don't think they'll be number 1, though.
No.
It could come down to, I'm trying to think of other teams. The Panthers, maybe.
I don't think they'll be moving off Bryce Young that quickly, in my opinion.
No. It all depends how he does this year. Zona has only one. No, they have 2 firsts. So use that second first to get an first next year. So how would that happen, though? What, you would trade back and get a first next year? Is that what you're trying to say, Jacob?
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to say.
I mean, that could work. You could probably trade it to a team like whoever, like, let's just say Michael Penix ends up dropping. Then you probably go up there and say, hey, listen, Raiders, Giants, Broncos, whoever the fuck. You guys want 27. We want a first next year. Now, honestly, I'm going to look at the Lamar Jackson trade.
Okay.
The Lamar Jackson trade up. Because I don't know if that constituted a first. So the Ravens trade up with the Eagles for a 2019 second round selection. And a 4th and a 2nd round pick.
For them to trade up.
That was the Lamar Jackson deal.
And now let me check something, because we can pull up the NFL trade value chart.
Oscar Gonzalez hurt, just carted off the field. Oh, wait. Well, prayers up to him. Appreciate it, Jacob. I'm just going to plug in my charger real quick. You do that research.
So the research that we have here, we're talking about 4 to 11. The difference between 4 and 11, 1,800 points on the 4th pick. The 11th pick at this very moment stands at 1,250. So you do the math, 1,800 minus 1,250. That's about 550 points. So that difference is worth a early 2nd round pick.
Camera is unplugged.
And the funny part is obviously Arizona's not trading their 2. It would be more like the Vikings, but obviously Arizona has that value, obviously. But again, the Vikings would have to have that value to trade up. But that's where it stands right now. Now, question is, with Arizona, do they want a top wide receiver who could be generational, or do they want a bunch of very good wide receivers and other needs to stack out the roster?
I mean, if you get a Marvin Harrison there, it changes the dynamic.
Absolutely.
It changes. And now I think last night someone said it. What if they get Brock Bowers at 11?
The Vikings or the Cards?
Cards.
Yeah, they were talking about pairing McBride with Brock Bowers.
But I for some reason, I just don't see that as a huge fit.
McBride would be definitely more of your blocking tight end, he still can receive.
Right. But like you look, it is like the wide receiver core for Arizona is totally just like, again, if I'm Monty Austin for it, I get it. I could get extra picks, but for the wide receiver room right now, your best wide receiver is probably Michael Wilson
Yeah,
or Greg Dortch.
it's
And
Michael
what does
Wilson
that say?
probably.
That doesn't say jack shit.
No.
So if I were a team, I'd probably trade up with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And then maybe if the Giants don't like a quarterback that's there, the Giants probably move back and take an extra pick. So I would actually, I'm that might alter my mock draft now.
Mm.
Who knows? But right now, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, Sam Darnold, those are the Vikings quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So how about Arizona is a smart thing and take MHJ? Yes, that's what we've been pretty much discussing this, this whole thing is you really don't like, again, my personal opinion is you really don't gain much if you trade back. You go from getting a great wide receiver to getting a good wide receiver
Or a
and then an
few
extra first
good
round
wide
pick.
receiver.
What?
Or you could say a few good wide receivers.
Yeah. And again, like they have enough picks to double up on wide receiver. Like, I don't know what the rest of their needs are. They probably need a corner. You could take a first, round wide receiver, that being Marvin Harrison. Probably go into the second round. Take whatever you need. Also, you have that other first. And then again, there's still going to be guys there. The Brendan Rices of the world, the
Roman
Jamari
Wilson,
Thrash,
Malachi Corley,
Jaquan Thornton,
Devontae
Walker, Xavier Leggett, Lad McConkey. So there's going to be guys there. I mean, I don't think Kyler Murray's a horrible quarterback. So
no, he just needs pieces around him.
yeah,
And besides that, I do think he's kind of underwhelmed as a first overall pick, should I say?
Yeah, no, there's a lot. This is a bottom 5 team talent wise, yeah, but I think they won't be the Texans this year, but Knicks score, yeah, the Knicks are beating the piss out of the Pistons. So again, I don't think they should trade out, and this is not me being Alex wants a quarterback. This is me being realistic. If I'm the Giants, I'm sitting here and what are you teething at?
It's called Donnie DiVincenzo just broke the record for franchise all-time 3-pointers in a game. Just wanted to say that.
All right. Is the game almost over?
Yeah, 118-89. 3 minutes
Right.
3 minutes to go.
It's a lot easier to draft when you already have the QB
Exactly.
and you have extra draft picks. So, well, I don't think they have their QB for the future. I think next year, again, what we heard in Bama is that they're going to get rid of Murray. But also after the season, but you also have to look at, hey, listen, who's going to be there next year. So, though I'd be interested to see, how they maneuver that, but that's a whole different subject. Are there any other storylines that have been going around?
I mean, the Jets signing. You're talking about NFL, right? Or draft? Yeah. Jets signing Mike Williams, Clowney. Not really much. I'll look, but there hasn't. Again, this is like the more meh time of free agency.
Yeah, more dead time. But I was gonna say, what are your thoughts? I know we broke it down yesterday. What are your thoughts of the Mike Williams signing? How does it open up the Jets' 10th overall pick to pretty much anything offensively?
Well, it gives you a bunch of options. Whether I like Joe Douglas or not, he was right. There's a lot of versatility. What you could do at 10, you could draft the tackle, you could draft a wide receiver.
Do you think? All right, I don't mean to interrupt, but do you think we should take anything away from today's meetings?
Nothing important, but it's still, as I said to you earlier. No, Barbara, they don't have Clowney yet. They met with him, and they met with Clowney, and they said it was a very good meeting, but nothing's imminent yet on the deal. I still would like him to get signed because I explained yesterday what he could do. But the thing is, what was said. This wasn't by actually Joe Douglas. Honestly, it was Salah's and Woody's comments that kind of reinforced my pessimism about the season. You had Robert Saleh basically saying, he was asked, would missing the playoffs, count as a failed season? He says, I would never say that. Then what's the standard? And then you had Woody Johnson asked it was Woody Johnson flip flopped on his Zach stance, which is I'm sorry, terrible PR marketing. He said Zach was essentially a bottom quarterback a couple weeks ago, but now he's reading the room, and he's seeing that nobody's trading for his quarterback. He's like, oh, Zach has talent, this, and that. This is why we drafted him second overall. So the flip flop is interesting, but it's a terrible PR move because everybody knows that you want to get rid of him. It's no joke. The Jets apparently have offers, but it could also be Zach Wilson's campaign trying to get the hell out of New York. And another thing as well, what was I going to say? I talked about him. And Woody Johnson talking about beholders. Now, let me look at the exact comment of what Woody Johnson said, because as you know, I can't stand Woody Johnson for the life of me. He said this, Woody, on what he would consider a successful Jet season, it's in the eye of the beholder. You want to feel like you're getting the most out of all the players you're winning or close to winning every single game. I think last year, despite not having an offense, we were in there for a lot of games. If we had a modicum of offense, which I think we'll have more of a modicum of an offense this year, we have a good receiver in Williams, blah, 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 blah. The key is it's in the eye of the beholder. The problem is the Jets have, for the last couple of years, act like they've accomplished something. And that's the same thing with Johnson. That's the same thing with Saleh and Douglas. That's the problem. That come out with this ignorance that, oh, you know what? The standards are still low. We're going to make them still low. Heighten the standard. You have Aaron fucking Rodgers, for Christ's sake. So, I didn't really take anything special away from it, but those comments from Saleh and Woody Johnson reinforced my pessimism of how many levels of incompetence Aaron Rodgers has to overcome. And I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying that there's a ceiling to this team, especially with Robert Saleh talking about Keith Carter. I'm sorry. Call me an asshole. Call me a negative fan. I think I still hold my pessimism with this team. It's not that I don't believe in the roster. There are some really fucking good players in this roster. This is a playoff roster, in my opinion. But coaching players can only go so far without coaching. Aaron Rodgers can only go so far as 40 years old with, a very bad coaching staff. Let's be honest. And now they're going to make Todd Downing a quarterback coach.
Yeah, I mean,
again, I'm not ranting. I'm just saying the facts.
No, I mean, yeah. So Justice Smith says that Woody only cares about selling the jerseys.
Selling the jerseys, positive headlines, and ticket sales. Money, 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 money. And the one thing that pissed me off too, and this is about your owner, not mine, although it's collaborative. When John Mara brought up the turf, or whoever, he was asked about that. I'll get to this comment in a second. I don't mean to cut off Mike. But what John Mara said, we worry about the health of the field because of all the events we have to do. So it's money first and field health first, player safety last. L on that one. I know you didn't like that comment. Mike commented on my Twitter, and
no, it's just like I don't understand. Fuck the events. It's primary for football.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Think
James
about it,
Dolan. Right? I know James Dolan cares about his money, but hell, he did things that were.
Yeah, he was a PR nightmare a couple of years ago, and he's back the fuck off.
Yeah,
now he just pays the bills.
Again, he's put the right people in charge. And it's not, you can, but you can't transmit the argument of hey, the health of all these events and stuff like that. I mean, it's not transferable between basketball, hockey, and then football, but you get my point, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
and it's not like MetLife Stadium's this great attraction.
It's a fucking dump.
It's a garbage can stadium.
And as I said yesterday, there's multiple arenas that hold events, or I should say arenas. I should say stadiums. Lincoln Financial Field, they hold events. There's a thumbs down.
So that's
what did Woody Johnson bring that up? That was so weird. I never seen this. But anyways, I don't know. Maybe somebody disliked this video. I'm not sure. But just overall, there's many stadiums that have, baseball stadiums, football stadiums that have events.
I would say New Yankee Stadium is a better fucking attraction because at least they have soccer games.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium. MetLife, obviously just mentioned MetLife. Lincoln Financial, Hard Rock Stadium. I'm sure Raymond James holds some events. I don't know about Lambeau Field, but there's plenty. There is plenty. I'm sure NRG Stadium. There's plenty of stadiums that hold events. just concerts overall, besides football games. You're telling me you can't buck up and you're worried about the goddamn field? You should be worried about the players and all the injuries they've suffered the past couple of years on this turf. Not just your players, but the players in the NFL saying that they played on the worst turf. So enough about the stadiums and all that shit. Enough. And Mike Moran says Salah is a great defensive mind, but again, we're gonna come. I'm telling you right now, the ceiling of this team, in my opinion, is 1 to 2 playoff wins in the playoffs, and it's gonna come down to, at the end of the day, who it's coaching against coaching, right? Salah is probably the worst. I'm sorry, he's the worst coach probably in the NFL, and he's going to be going up against really, really, really good coaches come playoff time. So, is he? Even then, like Salah. To be fair, and I'm bringing this up because this is the truth bomb. This is a truth bomb by me. How have his teams played in games that they should win? Not should win, should I say? In very important situations. The Lions game from 2 years ago. The Seahawks game from 2 years ago when they quit on him. The Jaguars game, they weren't even prepared. The Dolphins game, remember? Everybody was gassing up the Texans game. Here we go. 1 game away from Aaron Rodgers. Nothing happened.
And Aaron Rodgers was never coming back.
Yeah, but we won meaningless games. That was key. But we again, the preparation for the most important games under this coaching staff has been terrible. That's what worries me That's what worries me this season, because it's not a guarantee that the Jets win the division or make the playoffs. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not a guarantee.
It's really not. Mara on the DJ Excuse Tour 2.0. He actually said that they'd be okay drafting a quarterback. He'd be okay drafting a quarterback if they think he's the guy. And you know what? Also, there's this. I'll say, right. I love and I don't like to throw shots, but when shots are necessary, I'll throw shots. The beat reporters are taking victory laps because they're like, oh, where are the fans now that are saying that Mara is not involved? Or Mara is involved in football operations. Where are they now? It's like,
I mean, please, you can't tell me he wasn't involved in the Jones thing.
He probably was to some extent. He was definitely involved.
Everybody brings it up, but I have to bring it up too. Why do you think Joe Shane created that 2-year out?
Yeah,
they weren't fully confident. And who knows? John Mara might have, he made comments after, I think it was that season, that 2021 season or 2022, whatever, like, hey, we didn't build around Daniel Jones, all that. And, maybe he sees Eli in him. Maybe, again, that's like the worst part that it could be. A non-football owner meddling in operations. You never want that. That's the same thing.
Yeah, I give him all the credit in the world for backing off. But just like, dude, just
butt out.
No, it's not even. It's not. Well, in that case, it was butting out. But like these beat reporters taking these victory laps. I mean, why? Please tell me why must you take victory laps?
Congratulations, you got it right.
Congratulations, like seriously. And I got that at the beginning of free agency. Oh, where are the fans that said, that, fucking, oh, John Mara's meddling. I'm like, do y'all seriously, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because there's multiple B reporters who like champion that. I'm like, how much? And also, like, Ralph Vaccagliano was originally like a huge critic of Daniel Jones, and then he went back and said, nope, Daniel Jones doesn't have weapons. Okay, all right, dude.
That's
needs fucking water. If he's all about money, why do Jet Games have cheaper beers than Giant Games? Well, I mean,
is that true?
I mean, I don't know if that's true. They definitely have cheaper tickets, but you could say this, Bill. Maybe it's cheaper to look better on the appeal, so that way more opposing fans come in.
I mean, trust me. How many times do I have to talk about Jets season ticket holders getting no bang for their buck when it comes to November, December games? When you got freaking Texans fans and whoever the fuck going right in.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. They host all events. Yeah, they host concerts. They host, I think it's concerts and WWE occasionally, right?
And sometimes college football.
I think Notre Dame's going there this year, right?
I think so.
Army
might be
a game I go to, Mike, I'm sorry. Great mind and salad do not belong in the same
Oh
sentence.
no, they don't. They don't. John's right.
After the playoffs, Shane said that they were going to bring back Jones. Dable didn't look too thrilled in the presser. Personally, if I had a theory, I think it was flip flopped because I thought Joe Shane originally didn't want to bring him back, but Dable did. But you know, Alex, you realize that Pat Leonard's lifelong Eagle fans to stay used to cover them. I don't listen to anything he says. Pat Leonard, or are you referring to somebody else? Because I mean, I don't like Pat Leonard for everything. Because he put out this article that the there was some stupid fucking article he put out about Saquon Barkley and the Giants need to be grateful. I'm like, really?
You need to be grateful for all the seasons you had. Listen, Barkley's a great player, but at the end of the day,
He didn't win jack shit with us.
again, that's that. As
Gotta
our
love
good
the
buddy,
sentimental.
as our good buddy Miz said, stop letting the heart think for the brain, and that's what you know. I'd say majority of what I've read on John's Twitter is not like that when it comes to Barkley and McKinney. But at the end of the day, you didn't win much with that core. And again, with the new look new look, build is going to the trenches. The teams with the best trenches win. And obviously quarterbacks too. Obviously that plays a key role. But with the best offensive lines and defensive lines, they're a big key.
Yeah. And of course, quarterback always falls into
Oh yeah,
play
of
there.
course.
So the Barkley pick was one of the worst decisions in history of franchise.
Alex won it originally. No, that's right. No, he didn't. I'm lying.
Don't lie. Don't sit here and lie
I
about me.
was mixing up you with somebody else, but yeah, I thought the Giants didn't have basically a future afterwards. But again, to be fair, would and I don't like raising this question. Would have a Sam Darnold or a Josh Allen or Josh Rosen succeeded in that situation that Eli tried to and couldn't?
Yeah. He would have had Josh Allen if he was a meddling guy. I stand corrected. The reports say they do cost the same. Yeah, because I don't think the ticket prices cost different, but the same.
Yeah,
Like
but
the PSLs and all that.
MetLife's
Leonard,
food
he
is
wants Giant
mid.
fans to cheer for the man on the Eagles. I'll never do that. I mean, look, you shouldn't just because he went to the Eagles. You shouldn't really cheer for Saquon Barkley. Even Brian Dable said, I wish Saquon the best of luck, except when he's playing us. But again,
That's what happens when you get sentimental.
I don't. Again, there's multiple people.
It's the
Like
personal attachment to
it's a
players.
very short majority on Twitter that are like, oh, the Giants let go of McKinney, and the Giants, they let Saquon walk to the Eagles. I'm like,
But look where Joe Shane allocated those funds to. Brian Burns,
yeah.
John Runyon, Elamunor.
Now, if they don't select the quarterback, then you have a
That's a
right
bigger
to be
problem.
angry. But again, they just need a vision. They need a vision.
They also need to be fair, they also need wide receivers.
They do.
I mean, obviously you have Hyatt, you hope to build with him and Wandale Robinson, but really, to be fair, there's no one that scares you on the outside. That's maybe like one regret you could have.
Darnell throwing to Odell and Shermer's system. Who knows how that would have worked? Jets failed him at the end of
I
the
think
day.
they failed each other. I'm going to be completely honest. It was more. I'll be fair. It was more so the Jets failing him because Jets fans had this debate in 2021 whether they wanted to trade him, keep him another year, all that different stuff. Darnold didn't personally improve as a player, but the Jets set him up to fail from the get go because they couldn't build an offensive line. They hired Adam Gase, and they never had
Gase
great
was the nail in the fucking coffin.
Yeah, that was like, here you go. Here's the end of your fucking career. Not your career, but your starting career in New York.
But Mike Salah has the mind of an infant. He's a village idiot at best.
I mean,
I don't hate Saquon, but I don't respect Saquon because he lied. That's where my issue with his.
And why is he taking shots at the Giants?
Like here's how I feel, right, about the whole Saquon, and I said it in the video. I give two shits about Saquon leaving to the Eagles. Like he could go to the Cowboys. I don't care. Like I'm not going to root for him on Sundays. I'm not sentimental. I don't have a heart attraction for him. I never I'm going to hang on to this player. No, I give a shit. When Daniel Jones leaves, I'm not going to give a shit. But fans can fan. Again, I don't disagree. I don't agree with being sentimental. Some fans, they could go out there and be, a little angry that he went to Eagles. But at the same time, as far as Saquon goes, where I will get a little bit mad about him is, my daughter said, oh, we're going to win now, right? They did, dude, come on. Grow up. Sal better watch out for those crows, John, says Mike.
Oh yeah, those
Crows?
You're not getting it?
It's a saying of
the
his.
crow and the eagle, Alex. Hard Knock.
Oh, yeah. Damn. They should be on Hard Knocks again.
Yeah, just so Salah can make an ass of himself. Remember that big speech where he was rah yelling at the offensive line? Yeah, how'd that work out?
We're not going to do anything if the guys in front don't fucking block.
That
Big
Rex,
boys up front.
the Rex Ryan one was so much better. And Rex Ryan, I'll tell you this right now, probably had more respect from his team. These guys don't respect Salah. I'm just saying right now,
He
being
had more
fair.
respect from his team, and he actually was an asshole.
Yes.
On the field. Like, he actually, that's the way he was. Not Salah, where he's just big.
Yeah, he's like.
So, Sally can't even spell crow. Barkley was an all-time. Exactly. He didn't win anything.
Listen, sometimes you get sentimental when let me say this. This is a different situation. Are Knicks fans sentimental about Kristaps Porzingis in the short time he was at Nick? No. Were some of them pissed when he left, like myself? Yes. We're traded. But look where we are now. We're no longer sentimental. When you start winning games without said player, like Saquon, you're gonna forget. You're not gonna like forget all about him. But you're like, okay, that's a blip in the past. Again, that's what happens. Sometimes you get sentimental when you have a great player who doesn't win you much. I'm sorry. That's what happens.
Saquon wanted the Texans. I would have bought that jersey, buying a McKinney one for a Packers fan, buddy. Well, there you go. Any final football thoughts that you can think of?
I really don't have much to offer.
All right. So we're going to go to, I think we'll close out with prospect of the week, unless you want to talk about anything after.
I mean, I just want to say real quick, congrats to Donnie DiVincenzo on breaking the Knicks franchise record for most three-pointers in a game, as the Knicks slashed the Detroit Pistons 124-99. But we're hoping to cover a game Wednesday or Friday. Congrats to Donnie. He absolutely deserves it. He also won me money. Congratulations to him and me. But good job, Knicks. You did not play down to the competition. You didn't play with food. Good job. I'm legit happy. And now they have what? Let's check how many wins the Knicks have. They have 42 wins. They still can get to 50 wins. 43, excuse me. They have 11 games left. 7 more wins to 50. It'll be the most since 2013. They can do it. So I'm real proud of them. Boy, everybody played well from what I was watching. So I can't complain. And I know it's a shit Detroit team, but you have to beat those guys. Remember, it came down to the wire the last time these two teams played.
A couple of questions here before we go into the prospect of the week. Do you think the Knicks can get the 3 seed?
I know the Cavs are a little bit stumbling and bubbling lately. Let's check the standings update. Knicks are half game behind.
The shit out of?
What's that?
Didn't they get beaten the shit out of?
By Miami yesterday, but they bounced back against the Hornets tonight. So that game was close for a bit, but the Cavs blew them out. I think it's possible. I think it's possible they could get to the 3 seed if they continue to play well, but they will be playing some tougher competition towards the beginning of April. I mean, you think of the Thunder, they're top of the West, or at least close to the top of the West. The Celtics, the Bucks, which obviously was a gift. Thank you to the fucking in-season tournament bullshit. Who knows if they're going to be playing their starters by then? I hope not. So, again, keep using these games to your advantage. You know, the teams that you should beat, like you got Wednesday against the very mid Raptors, or I should say the lower than mid Raptors. They're 26 games under 500. The Spurs are terrible. Those are games you should go out there and win. Those 2 games, and at least I'll give you the schedule for the next couple of games realistically. So the Knicks, as I said, Raptors, they have the Spurs, the Thunder, the Heat. They can beat in Miami. The Kings, it's gonna be a tough one, but they did toughen it out even without a healthy OG Anunoby. The Bulls, they can win. Bucks will be interesting. Bulls, they have the Bulls again. They can win that. They have the Bulls one more time. Nets, Celtics, Bulls, and Bucks. They can win a lot of these games in the next 10. or 11, should I say. They can get to 50 wins. It's not impossible. Can they get to the 3rd seed? It's not impossible either. But credit to the Knicks, credit to Tom Thibodeau, credit to everybody else.
Credit to them.
I mean, if you want to talk about a mentally tough team throughout all of these injuries, that is the Knicks. And through adversity, we talk about this all the time. Through adversity, you see the real team's true colors, and that's what the Knicks have right now. They're a true blue fucking team. I mean, they're without their defensive wing and OG Anunoby, who could hit the corner 3 and space the floor. They were still without Julius Randle, who has basically made no progress. He's getting limited contact, but he's not getting full contact. Mitchell Robinson should be coming back at the end of the month. Hartenstein's playing a phenomenal job despite Achilles tendinopathy. But they're a mentally tough team. You got to give Tom Thibodeau credit. I'm very mixed on him as I still remain, but in terms of setting a culture and a foundation, winning culture, he's done it. I can't really complain. If you want to talk about a fucking team that gets injured and bitches and moans and make excuses, don't go over to MetLife Stadium in the green side. Just letting you know right now. But credit to the Knicks. Good job on the win tonight. Again, congratulations to Dante DiVincenzo. I'll take some more questions before we head to prospect of the week. But really tough, mentally tough team. Yes, we're streaming for the draft.
Yes, we're streaming for the draft, and we got a treat for you guys on the 3rd day of the draft. I won't say, though. A few more things. I was referring to Saquon lying. I want to be a Giant for life, but what you mentioned was also stupid. Speak to how mature he is. That's true. And also when he said stay on that side, about his haters and his doubters, which you shouldn't even be addressing.
I'll tell you this right now. The sentimentality Giants fans are showing towards Saquon, the limited amount of them, the Jets fans show towards Jamal Adams. Not that Jamal Adams, not that Saquon Barkley is Jamal Adams in terms of a clown, but similar.
Yeah. Probably normal. Even McKinney poses, it's nice to be somewhere that I'm wanted, like we didn't want him. Yeah, McKinney's he's a crybaby bitch. Like I'm not scared to say that. He's a crybaby bitch. He bitched about the coaching staff all the years he was here, but at least McCain came back and honored his word, speaks to his person, while Saquon acted like a complete child. But this is what it is. This is what it is. And
do you have any more starred comments?
I don't think so. There were Nimmer was asking about OG Mitchell and
well, Mitchell Robinson is the closest per Stephen Bondi, which is surprising because Mitchell Robinson actually went down first and had more of a road to recovery. You hope Julius Randle's coming back, obviously, but he's pushing to play. But the Knicks, again, limited contact. And what was I going to say? OG, we're still waiting on him. He did do some shoot around today, but they want him to be at least close to full health. They want that soreness to go away. And again, it's not a product of a bad surgery. It's the after effects of a surgery. And also, real quick, Nimar asked, wait, do we have the 3 seed or not? I believe we have the tiebreak. We're a half game behind right now, but if there comes down to a tie at the 3 seed, the Knicks have the tiebreaker, which is key.
All right, so to our final segment, and guys, put your comments, anything else you want to address in the chat as we go through our prospect of the week. And I also, by the way, we take prospect of the week recommendations. So if you have, throw us in, and we have a couple weeks till the draft, so we got that going. But we got Braden Fisk here, and he's a guy who I didn't originally have film on before we went to Bama, so I didn't know what he was going to bring to the table. But he was a guy that stood out to me, Brian, John, and Luca. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see what he's got. And then also he stood out in his pro day and his combine. So I'm like, okay, see what he's got. Braden Fisk, interior defensive lineman, went to Western Michigan and Florida State. 6'3", 300, 13 games this year, 43 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. So when we get into it, this is a few minutes long here on the film. He is, you know what? I'll mention it when we get further in. So he's going to be number 55. I got an arrow that always points to who Braden Fisk is going to be. This is going up against Matt Lee, and I want to say that's Javian Cohen from Miami. So here, that's a holding penalty.
Oh, yeah.
In the NFL. So again, I think like one of the, and I don't want to spoil the strengths and weaknesses. He could draw a lot of holding penalties in the NFL. But anyway, right here, that's another holding penalty that they miss on Javian Cohen. Here, now, does he do anything special? No. But what I will say is this. a common theme you'll see throughout this tape here is him doing the dirty work.
Basically opening up holes for others.
Opening up holes and putting himself in position so other teammates could make plays. Now here, it does look as if they don't have enough guys to cover, the amount of guys rushing and the blitzers and stuff.
Blitz.
But you also do have the right tackle and right guard, so it's actually bad on.
Like if you look at this closely, the left guard and the left guard and the center are double teaming Fisk. Meanwhile, the right tackle and right guard almost seem like they're doubling the other guy.
Right, but also Javian Cohen's about to have a rusher come at him.
Yeah.
But again, you could still argue Braden Fisk is doing his job
by taking on one of the linemen.
And taking on one of the linemen. Here against Clemson, just, again, doing the same thing, but also gap discipline. Let's notice where the running back is. Now, he does go there. I don't know why I threw this in, but that, I think, would have been a holding penalty. But nonetheless, here against Clemson, what I really like, and he doesn't have like a great pass rush traits, but he knows how to get to somebody's either inside or outside shoulder. And he always gives the lineman trouble. So in this situation, the quarterback would probably have to step up in the pocket. And he can, and he is forced to throw that football. Now, of course, he does have number 6 open, but because, and again, I'm pretty sure there's a shoulder pad being held here. He got to the quarterback quickly, but again, his receiver is open over the middle of the field.
Jaden Daniels.
Here he is again. Again, this is a stunt that they're running. This is a twist. And they don't handle it well. And Fisk is the one that's free, but also the left guard doesn't do a good job, and Jaden Daniels is forced to throw that out of bounds.
Also, I just want to make note, as you saw, the running back was going out to receive. He wasn't going out to block.
Yeah. Here he goes against Matt Lee again, and this is where he actually makes the tackle this time. I'm pretty sure this is a run blitz, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to pull it back a little bit. Yeah, that's some sort of a run blitz or twist, because he moves inside to penetrate Cohen's left shoulder gap, which I think is the B gap, but he comes back and makes the tackle. Here, this is one of the goal line plays, and he actually stands up pretty well, and he's actually being blocked against the tight end here. So he does that. Gap discipline. Him and his teammates combine for the tackle.
He looks like he's just going to clog a lot of holes.
Yeah. Here against Cohen. And what do you notice? I'm going to see if you pick it out. And also I want to read the chat too. What do you notice? Just look at the snap.
Is it his get off?
His get off. He's very quick off the snap. Very quick off the snap. Fisk is someone that the Giants fans are interested in. Gave me sympathy for Packers fans after Aaron knows what to fight. Because that's true, Bill. But this is one. Yep, Braden Fisk is a lot of Giant fans like Braden Fisk. But we'll keep getting into it. His get off is really quick, and he gets to that. He gets that. I would say, is it the inside? I'm pretty sure it's the inside shoulder.
Yeah, that's the tackle.
The left tackle, but and not even here. He doesn't even make the tackle, but he just causes havoc.
It's impacting the play.
Yeah. Fisk here again, and he holds up his gap, but also he's there to make the tackle. Here he is again, and he's being doubled, but he's still making an impact on the play.
Pause that for a sec. It looks like he moved his man really well. The strength is what stands out to me to make that, for him to be at least he's like a people mover. He's a lane clogger.
Yeah. Here, going up against Cohen. Now, he doesn't make the tackle here, which kind of dislike. But again, the quickness. Look how quick Cohen moves compared to how quick
Fisk moves.
And again, you see Cohen, he's kind of head digging, right? He's head heavy. He's just focused on his man. Where Fisk has got the moves. Now, he should make that tackle, but his teammate finishes it up. Here, you'll see him again being doubled, but he still makes the tackle. And I'm pretty sure you'll see it from a different angle. Yep, you'll see it here. Doubled. Now, something that is very dangerous here, but it's also like really played up well by this Florida State defense is I'm pretty sure. Now let's go back. Pretty sure Fisk is supposed to control the left guard, left tackle gap, which I'm pretty sure is, I don't know if it's not.
Could it be the B
A
gap?
I'm pretty sure it's the B gap, right? So this play, technically, that running back could cut left and go for
Yeah.
a touchdown, but also number 4 is in a very good spot to
As he
play that
comes
gap.
right
And
there.
number 5 is doing a good job of penetrating it, but Fisk also does his job. Here he is again, being doubled, and you see the running back goes right. It's like Fisk eats him up.
Yeah.
Which I honestly, if this is an option play, Jaden Daniels fucking failed. Now,
Yeah.
also, you do have number 4 reading it, so
There's
I
also
could
a
take
lane
that
on the
back.
right side, to be fair. If it's an in or outside run.
Right, but the way the read option is working here, I mean, I would like to see if Jaden Daniels could beat out number 4, but number 4 is playing his keys. He's playing it really well. He's setting the edge. Here again, this is up against Charles Turner, who also went to the Senior Bowl. And there's a weakness in the running game we'll get to with Braden Fisk. But right here, he doesn't even let Charles Turner angle him. He's just creating destruction. Here, totally sheds the block here. Going up against
It's like he almost
Cohen
like made a
again.
swim move with his arms, like, oh, I'm gonna go inside and I'm just gonna go more like outside on the left shoulder.
Fisk here against Cohen. And he just totally, again, eats him up. Here, again, he loses his balance, but he still makes the tackle. And he's still gap disciplined because that's his gap. Here, a little bit of the pass rush we talked about, but again, quick and getting to that shoulder so the left guard can't play his full man. And he just can't recover. Like number 70, Javian Cohen is in quicksand the entire time. We'll see it from this angle. And again, Fisk is not even that great of a pass rusher. Look at the quickness.
I think he saw also that the offensive lineman Cohen was oversetting his hands a little bit.
So this is going up against the center and also just a swim move. Now, again, he doesn't get to the quarterback, but still a really nice play. Here, again, twists. We talked about it. Now, it's a screenplay, and that play ended up going for a lot of yards. But still, on a regular basis, Fisk gets the quarterback. Here, similar play to what we showed earlier. Now, he doesn't get to the quarterback, but again, stunts and twists, something we talked about. This Fisk here is supposed to go towards Matt Lee, the center. And then that guy who Matt Lee's on right now is supposed to go towards Javian Cohen. That actually is, but isn't the case. But because Fisk has so much attention drawn on him, they kind of like disregard the other guy, but everyone else is just getting to the quarterback here. Here, again, not too much, but again, knowing how to take advantage of the shoulder. And even here, like, you know, not the biggest pass rush moves. He's in between the right guard and the right tackle. He moves over to like the center area almost, and it just causes confusion. And the center does a half-ass. I think that's the center. Does a half-ass job of blocking him.
Yeah, he
the
goes
right
for
guard's.
low.
You notice that the right guard's not angling and playing the full man, so Fisk has the opportunity to do that. Now, of course, again, he gets it off, but still, it causes pressure. Here, again, not playing the full man. That could be that if he grabs it a little harder, that's a holding penalty in the NFL. Rushing throws. A lot of defensive coordinators have turned their attention towards pressure. But I know we got the comments, which is great. I just want to go over a couple more things here with Fisk. Right here is going up against Cohen. Okay, and again, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a stunt.
It is.
because 15's supposed to go left, and he's not doing his job. And then Cohen lets go where he's supposed to be taking 15. Lee's supposed to be taking Fisk, and then the quarterback gets the ball out quick. Here he's going up against the left guard, and then Turner takes him, and then he forces Jaden Daniels to panic. You'll see it again. Again, Turner does a terrible job of picking it up.
You know what I'm also going to say? We bring up the get off. I think he has like some nice short range explosiveness.
Yeah. So here again, he makes Daniels panic. Here is kind of where we go into the negatives. And it's not many because I'm looking at the length of the video. It's less than, I think it's about a minute of negatives. And that's actually a pretty good thing for Braden Fisk. And as I've watched this again, I'm actually more impressed than I was the first time with Braden Fisk cutting these up. But again, here he just gets locked up. Now, again, it's a little bit of a quicker concept, but you notice other than stunts and twists, like this play,
right?
If he can't claw the shoulder, he's not creating his own pass rush. I know I sound like creating his own shot, like a basketball argument. Here, even what looks like to be a stunt, number 72 does a very good job of, holding his guy up, which is Braden Fisk. Here, again, unless it's the quickness and the get off, and again, stunts and the shoulder,
the short term
vulnerability, Fisk is not going. He's not going to excite you with the pass rush, which is sad because again, his quickness is very good. I think if anything, it's elite. And then I was talking about that run game weakness, where he gets angled out of the running game when guys like the center here flip their hips like that, and Fisk is just totally out of the play, which does happen. But he's not doing anything to deconstruct the block, and then you have number 7 basically go off a little bit, and you'll see it again here where Cohen does a really nice job of anchoring, and he lets number 2 go up the middle, and that's Fisk's gap. Like he's sharing that gap. At least I'm pretty sure he is. Again, this is like a similar play before.
Taken out.
And that's pretty much that for Mr. Braden Fisk. And I also want to get to some comments here. I didn't mean to remove you. I meant to remove the video. So my apologies. Let's see. We let Saquon walk after giving 3 offers. That's true. And he chose to be leave for the biggest rival. For a similar offer, we gave him saying he wanted to be a Giant for life. For me, not the same thing. And I think Packers fans need to grow up and learn the difference, especially with how Saquon's acting since signing contract. One thing I won't be happy with as a Giants fan, if we don't walk out of the draft without a single defensive tackle and how good this class is. I get it, Max. Just weird how many running backs went to rival teams. That's a good point. Bitterness spilled. They're all immature. Getting mad at the fan base for not being okay with them being Judas's, especially Barkley. Put some Chris Jenkins.
Yeah, I was actually about to request that because not only is he one of the better defensive tackles in this draft, my bias is a Jet fan. Obviously, Chris Jenkins, his father, played with the Jets.
He's a Jet.
Yeah.
So, true, they aren't even 30 yet. I'm on my way to 56 this year. Thank you for the request, Max. No, listen, I mean, it's a very good point. I think the Giants need somebody next to Dexter Lawrence to do the job. I've pointed out a couple of defensive tackles that I've liked. Justin Eboigbe from Alabama. I would be happy with Braden Fisk. Jefferson's okay from LSU. Rook or Horhoro from Clemson.
What about Tavondre Sweat?
Tavondre Sweat would be a nice get. So there's a couple of different options. And if the Giants get a corner, I don't know how that Tre'Davious White visit went. I'm assuming it happened. But if they get him, if they do, then that eases up every need the Giants have. They could select somebody later and develop him. But the final draw up on Braden Fisk draws double teams. This is strengths. Does the dirty work, run defense, draws penalties, quickness off the snap. Weaknesses, lack of pass rush plan, rush production through stunts. Again, this is what I was talking about. He can't create his own rush. He doesn't really have a palette of moves outside of stunts.
An arsenal.
Yeah, and tackling in the hole sometimes. So here's my summary, 3 paragraphs. Braden Fisk is going to be a monster against the run when he gets to the NFL level. A lot of his stock rose at the NFL Combine, his pro day, in the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Fisk has incredible quickness off the snap, immediately getting his hands on the opposition. His physique draws double teams, which is a major factor when teams game plan their rushing attack. Not to mention, he will likely draw a lot of penalties from the opposition due to his twitch and quick movements. He did most of the dirty work this past season at Florida State, and most of his pass rush production came via stunts. Fisk could be an every down player if he immediately draws double teams to the next level on both sides of the ball. There weren't many instances of Fisk maneuvering against the opposition in the passing game on a consistent basis. Again, his production came mostly via stunts. A lot of people see him as a fit for a 3-tech position. Bears, Giants, Chargers, Broncos, Seahawks are fits. Why do I say that? Because they were terrible against the run last year. Devondre Sweat and Dex would combine for like 700 pounds.
That's true.
That'd be a nasty front. Not every need we still need another linebacker. Well, you're on the Edgerrin Cooper train the last time I checked Max, but yeah, I think it depends how Micah McFadden plays in this system. I think Patriots Drake May, if J.J. McCarthy goes to Washington. I don't think he's going to go to Washington, but I think the Patriots will select the quarterback, whoever falls out, because Jaden Daniels is going to go number 2. We have 2 linebackers, but after that, it's not so good. Yeah, I think you could probably take someone later. There's a couple of different guys you could take, but probably not starters. Fisk was spectacular. Again, I said it. John, me, Luca, and Brian were all like in awe. Fisk was spectacular at the Senior Bowl. See, I said it. I love Edgerrin Cooper. He's my favorite linebacker. I like Julian Colson's tape. When I watched Chris Jenkins, I love Edgerrin, man. He's another guy I got to look into because when we were doing our Giants offseason, the offseason live stream with Diggy and Dash, we selected Edgerrin Cooper in the second round. We didn't even need a linebacker. But thoughts on Braden Fisk? Oh, I'm sorry. Second, third round projection. I'm going to say, and this is a little harsh.
Well, I said I think he's going to be a third.
Okay. I'm going to say he can be a little bit better than an A'Shawn Robinson type. Like, I think A'Shawn Robinson is probably his floor. It's like what Mike was talking about with McCarthy being like a Brock Purdy, Jared Goff type. Is like, I see some, and use my Giants bias, sure. Leonard Williams does the dirty work.
Yeah. He's not going to be spectacular.
Not going to be spectacular. A'Shawn Robinson, similar body type, not as quick, but he plays really well against the run. Now, also, I don't know who to compare him to in terms of like the pass rush stuff, where he can only get open via stunts. So that's a little tough.
But let me ask you this. Do you see potential? Not that you shouldn't draft him. I think he would be a very good fit. If you, let's say there's a pass rush situation, right? That somehow Dex, let me ask this. In a scheme that's yours, 3-4, right? Would it be possible to be for Dex and Braden Fisk to be on the same field? I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
What if Dex is collecting the double team and Braden has to create his own rush?
That's going to be tough. Because then you're because let's put it in perspective, right? Maybe we'll place Dex on the right side, going up against the right guard in the center, and then the left guard goes up against Braden Fisk. And then the left tackle goes up against Burns, and then the right tackle goes up against Tibbs, or you have the vice versa. So, the edge rushers would have to win in that scenario, but also what a lot of Giant fans don't realize is that Wink Martindale never did stunts or twists. So if he comes in, I would like to think Shane Bowen should do some stunts and twists. But you also got to rely on Dex's, ability to get the quarterback. Our D-line coach can teach him, but I prefer Chris Jenkins. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Andre Patterson is one of the top O-line, D-line coaches. I don't know why I said O-line. D-line coaches in the league. Dexter is always getting the double team, so it's not a question who's getting double team, but that's better than last season where he's still getting triple teamed and still putting in the work. True. And, there's not going to be You ask me, look at the DTs on the roster for the Giants, and then look at Braden Fisk. Outside of Dexter Lawrence, I'm taking Braden Fisk every single day of the week because he could generate a little bit of a pass rush. So, definitely should do stunts against Washington since Bobby Johnson's so like it. Yeah, listen, we'll see what happens against Washington. Listen, I can't wait for that. I think that the Washington fans are kind of in for a rude awakening. But what are your thoughts, Luke, on the
I don't think he's going to be an every down player to start. Obviously, the biggest problem, I think he's shown flashes of the creation of the pass rush moves. He has good short range explosiveness. He has, a good get off. But I think he starts out as a space eater, especially in the run game. I think he's going to start out as a run defender, or at least he should start out as a run player against the run. Then eventually, when he starts growing those pass rush moves, he becomes an every down player. He's not going to, I don't think he'll ever be a spectacular defensive tackle. I think he'll be a very good role player.
Role player, okay. So, like, if you had, I'm not saying in terms of player, but like maybe a little bit of mixture of player and player snaps. Who do you envision him as? And I'm not trying to say give him a player comp, but like putting him on the field.
That's tough, honestly. Like I don't know how the Giants will do their rotations because the Jets are doing entirely different. 30 to 40%, maybe.
Wow. I just think that's a. Let me look up Leonard Williams for real. Yeah, and I know he got paid a ton of money.
Again, I'm talking about as what he'll start out his career as, not how.
Oh, all right. So that's a little bit different then.
Yeah, he'll start out his career as 30-40, and then he'll eventually grow.
Yeah. But I still think, like, if the Giants draft him in the second round, I still think he should get, like, the majority of the snaps.
That's fair.
Because you kind of have nobody else that can compete with him, unless you bring some other guy in that nobody talks about. But I think we're going to start to wrap it up here. 2 hours, 27 minutes for the Boys in the Apple podcast. A lot of football talk, a lot of baseball talk, predictions, all that good stuff. Luca, anything else you want to get off your chest? And if not, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Good prospect of the week evaluation by Alex. Braden Fisk was definitely intriguing down at the Senior Bowl. Yankees, we'll see what happens on Thursday. We'll obviously be live for that game. We'll also be live Saturday for Mets versus Brewers. Knicks, phenomenal win tonight. Bogdanovich is actually nicked up, which is concerning. Soreness. But Donnie DiVincenzo also broke the he will break the single season franchise record for 3-pointers in a season. But I was talking about single game, 3-pointers in a game. He broke that franchise record held by J.R. Smith and Evan Fournier. Congratulations to him. Another win for the Knicks.
I'm just looking at this tweet on Twitter, and somebody was like, basically of like, oh, I guess whoever said, Malik Neighbors draft him for Jones, and someone said, yeah, it's a great idea. You want to emulate the Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson connection.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we'll have a mock draft out, folks. Wednesday we're gonna likely have a stream. Probably might be Raptors and Knicks. Also, I plan to have out the Yankees
hype video
out, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Thursday, we're back for baseball. The Yankees and the Astros at 4:10. So like, comment, subscribe, share out. Again, we're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers as soon as we can. So share out to friends, family, your dog, your cat, the person you don't talk to anymore. But after all, we do appreciate you guys, and we shall see you later.